Warning, the following program contains adult language, adult themes, and spoilers. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good evening and welcome to this week's episode of This Week's Episode. It is the week of March 24th, 2022. This is episode 249, which is one episode short of 250. And I'm your host, Kris Randazzo. Joining me tonight is totally not Hugh Grant, Karen Randazzo.
Arr!
Leaper of Quantums, Angie Fernot.
I'm a poet.
And Fatal Eye Laser, Evan Goldstein.
Gavin Goldstein.
Gavin Ealdstein. Tonight, some strange Doctor Who rumors circulate. The MCU loses its Secretary of State. Disney attempts yet another Muppets show, and more. But first, how's everybody doing? Actually, no, but first. So this Facebook ad popped up, right? I'm here in my basement. And this couch is slightly problematic. The sectional couch that's down here, it just doesn't, it's ugly. The problem is, it's very functional.
But is
it's
it
exactly the right
comfortable?
shape. It is comfortable.
So that doesn't
This is
matter.
a comfortable couch. So I'm, flopping through Facebook here, and then this thing for magic stretchable sofa covers shows up. And
Those
I'm
things
thinking to
don't
myself,
work.
I know. I'm hearing you say that.
But
I'm
this
hearing
video,
you say it out loud. But it's $40. I mean, obviously, I would have to find the right size and everything, but it worked for that the IKEA sofa we had on the other side of the room.
That was made for that sofa.
That's a valid point. All right. I'm just
Not to
saying.
get all domestic here.
It seems like an easier solution to my problem than trying to find a new sofa for the basement.
And then having to work that sofa back into the comfortability level that the current sofa is in.
Yeah, I mean, a new sofa, that's not an option for the next, 50 years. But the, used sofas nearby, I've been keeping my eyes peeled for some sectionals on, Facebook Marketplace and stuff. And I've seen a ton of them. But you know what sucks about every single one of them?
You gotta go
They're
pick them up.
backwards. They're not this shape.
Oh.
All of them are just yeah, but that's on the other side. Son of a bitch.
I wish I had known that this is this big of an issue for you, because I know someone who was trying to get rid of one.
Would it have fit down here?
I don't know.
Do you have a time machine?
She still has it, but she may have decided to keep it, but that's a podcast for another podcast.
All right. So,
Tune in next
SofaCast.
week for Geek Aid's sectional
Sofa
sofa
and
podcast.
All sofas and bread all the time. How you guys doing? How's everybody working tonight?
Cool. Good.
I
very
survived an incredibly intense month at work, and am still here. Only to be met today after meeting the deadline with a meeting in which we were congratulated on our hard work and told, you guys are so great because you never miss a deadline, and every time they keep putting more and more pressure on us and we keep performing, and I'm like, could you not, accept what you're...
I feel
one of
like
these
this is a
one of
loaded
these ones
statement.
is going to kill us. Actually, I mean, you saw me around here for the last several weeks. Was I a happy person? No, I was not. So yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So I'm alive, but but I think my job's actively trying to kill me.
Well,
Isn't that the point of having a job? I don't understand.
That tracks for all work. I think they get a bonus if they kill their employees.
See, and I go back and forth on this because, on my grumpy days, I'm like, "Yep, this is what all jobs are like," and then some asshole comes around and is like, "No, you should look for a better job. You deserve more." And I'm like, can you just shut up? Because
Is that asshole named Kris? I don't understand.
It's an asshole named Kris. It's an asshole named my therapist. It's an asshole named my mother, my sister, whatever. People who care about me are like, you should do better for yourself. And I'm like, I don't know if that exists.
Oh, wait. Are you ready? Karen,
No.
you should get a better job.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. I just wanted to jump on that bandwagon.
Poof.
Of people who care about you.
Done. Congratulations.
Welcome to the bandwagon.
Why didn't I think of that?
You know?
Just get another job.
Yeah. You know. Just
I wonder if I have one in my ass. Let's reach in there and see.
here, wait, yeah, let me just make it real easy for you. Just go get a job. Just
Seriously,
do it.
if you're out there in podcast land and you have a job, you don't have to love it, but if you like it and you're treated like reasonably well there, I'm not talking like annoying coworkers. There's nothing you can do about that really, but like
That's true.
Like the company treats its employees well and like whatever. Just let me know that exists.
It does. I work for one. Sorry.
Whoa.
But you
hold
just
on.
spent a whole bunch of time before the podcast saying how there was a thing at work and you weren't happy. So
No, that's freelance.
That's the freelance side of
That's
it.
the nature of freelance.
I didn't know that.
She,
Okay.
as her own boss, is being a horrible boss.
Oh yeah, I'm a shitty employer to myself. Oh
Okay.
God, I work terrible hours with no overtime, very little benefits, and very little understanding of work-life
Nope.
boundaries.
No benefits, honey. We have to pay
Yeah,
for those
like that's
separately.
one of the things that they were doing is like, well, we know you guys are going to have to work harder to meet these deadlines, so we'll give you overtime. I'm like, but what if I just do my job and get it done without working extra hours?
Yeah,
Can I still have the money?
right.
Doesn't that mean I deserve the money more than if I needed extra hours to get it done?
No. You're
I'm
not paying attention.
I'm just being crazy here, all right?
You are being a crazy person right now. I don't like this. You're going down a very dark path.
Yeah.
I like my job quite a bit. It just doesn't.
Well,
there are no benefits.
Right. The trade-off is
no.
you know.
Exactly. It doesn't really.
They
support the
make
other
up for
family.
it by giving you a very comfortable, flexible work, situation, and they treat you very nicely, and whatever. It's your like dream job,
Yeah.
but it just doesn't pay as
doesn't pay
well
the
as
bills.
we wish it did. Anyway, this is why I don't talk about work on the podcast because it's not a good time.
I feel like it's important for people to know, like, I don't know. I love hearing about your lives. So, like, honestly, this is our time. I don't really give a shit what anybody else thinks. I want to know how you guys are doing. And if you don't like your job, I want you to be able to talk about that a little bit.
We also want people to know and to fully understand that doing this podcast is not our job.
Yeah.
We do not get paid for this.
So if we decide to take a week off because we are too burnt out by our actual lives, sorry.
Yeah.
Gotta do what's we got to do.
Yeah.
Anywho.
But we
All of
love
those things.
you guys, our listeners, and we love doing this. And we love when Kris plays audio in my ear while I'm talking and I forget what the hell I was saying.
It wasn't intentional.
I know.
It was the Doyles. They
The
were
joys
doing
of
stuff.
sharing a device.
It was Pa Doyle's 70th.
Yes, I knew about that because I went drinking with the Doyles for St. Pat's, but that's
Nice.
neither here nor there.
Oh, that is somewhere, though.
It was somewhere. It was fun.
That's
We need to
awesome.
find Sean. He hasn't answered any of our texts in a while. We're talking about Jaws on Thursday.
Uh-oh. Because, to
Jay
quote
already?
Sean, you
Holy
have a
shit.
movie podcast and you've never seen Jaws. This is stupid.
Wait, what?
Well, he's seen it now,
I've
but
seen it now. I just watched it for the first time over the
Well,
weekend.
Kris is also not a horror person, so
Fuck, it's not a horror movie. It's a classic. Oh, I guess it
also
wasn't.
a
I'm
horror
not a
movie,
horror
honey.
movie person and I've seen it.
Yeah.
There is
the little
like,
Kidner boy spilt out all over the dock.
the litany of movies that elicit that reaction that on my very podcast is
He was
insane.
too busy playing video games his whole life and he missed a lot of movies,
See,
you
but
guys.
what this
I
is
guess
it.
it's
And I've
just-
seen a lot of movies.
I
but
get,
missed
yeah, but
a
you
lot
gotta
of the
realize,
big
like,
ones.
I grew up, I lived under a rock. Like, I was that kid that was like so, like, I was basically a redneck.
Hold on.
Okay,
I'm about to
and
defend
I've still
Kris
seen
here.
Jaws.
So I have to defend Kris. Maybe true.
Do you?
Kris has not seen Jaws. But that man and I have had lengthy conversations about movies in the vein of like Manos, The Hands of Fate. Like those really bad movies that nobody sees.
Yeah, so how did
But
that end
Kris-
up on the list, but fucking Jaws didn't?
Because
it
Mr.
it
Science
was
Theater
when our
3000.
family got a VCR. That's when the difference was there. Like by the time we had a VCR, I wasn't personally all that interested in seeing Jaws. thought it looked scary. I didn't like scary movies when I was a kid, and it just never interested me enough to say, like, you know what, I really need to see this movie. Like, I just do, because the idea when we got a VCR back when we were kids of like, no, this is a cultural phenomenon. I need to have my fingers on the pulse and see this cultural touchstone right here. You know, I never caught it on TV, and I never rented it because there was always stuff I wanted to see more. So I never saw Jaws. I never seen any of the Rocky movies either. They never interested me enough to say, like, no, I need to go see this Rocky movie. Just like I never saw Pocahontas, you know? I rented The Little Mermaid. I rented The Lion King. I rented Aladdin. Pocahontas came out. I was like, nah, I'm good. You know,
I think it's just that, like my exposure to a lot of these things was also through friends. So I guess it's just surprising. Like for me, like Monty Python, like that's something I experienced because of friends. Most of the horror movies I saw when I was younger were because of friends. Like, so I guess a lot of my pop culture experiences, especially even through video games, it all happened because of somebody that I knew. And I think I'm just so used to that being a powerful influence for me that, like, when somebody's like, oh, yeah, I've never seen this just because I wasn't that into it. I'm like, nobody gave a shit what I was into. I had to watch that stuff. Like,
none of my friends were into Jaws enough to say, no, let's watch Jaws. It never came up. And I never sought it out because I wasn't all that interested.
That's fair.
Turns out it's a great fucking movie.
Yeah.
I rather enjoyed it. I'm glad I've seen it now. I mean, shit, I didn't see Back to the Future until I was in college. And, like, it just didn't come up when I was younger. And my experience of Back to the Future before seeing the movie was the fucking video game for NES, which is terrible. So my friend and I rented it. He's like, I have never seen the movie. He's like, nah, trust me, this is going to be awesome because the movie's great. I was like, well, I haven't seen the movie yet. I was like, well, we'll play the game. And if you like the game, you'll go see the movie. We hated the game. We walked it right back to the rental store and said, no. And then I never watched Back to the Future because, like, why am I going to watch that?
Aw. It's a shame.
Because the NES did you dirty.
The NES did me dirty. Thank you, LJN. But I did eventually see all 3 Back to the Future movies, and they were great. But there's lots of stuff on my backlog that's like, all right, we got to hit that one. Sean's particularly upset that I've never seen Big Trouble in Little China. And, like, I'm just as equally upset with Sean because that's his favorite movie, and he never made me watch it.
Yeah, see, he's a bad friend.
And, like, we already went past the letter B. And he was like, well, if I had known you hadn't seen that, that would have been my suggestion.
You fucked up, Sean
just
Doyle.
assume he's seen nothing, okay?
Yeah, just assume I haven't. It's like, we used to watch that movie all the time. It's like, never when I was around. How come I wasn't invited? I've watched other movies with your house. I've never seen Plan 9 from Outer Space. You guys used to watch that shit every week, but never when I was around, So,
Jay, so what you technically can do, you can title it Kurt Russell in Big Trouble in Little China and do it next month.
And do it for K?
Yeah.
Now I'm going to wait. I'm going to make him wait for B. I don't know what I'm going to pick for K. I really have absolutely no idea. I got to figure it out by Thursday.
Ooh. Okay.
You got any good K movie picks? Let me know.
Kill Bill. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Kill Bill. I like that one a lot.
I mean, you'd have to watch both of them.
I didn't have that ready and loaded. Wow, that really came out so fast. I couldn't even tell you another one.
Kentucky Fried Movie. It's a classic.
Oh, that's one that have I seen that one? I can't remember.
There
did come a point where I started renting a bunch of, like, just random movies when I was a teenager on VHS. But man, I don't remember if I've seen Kentucky Fried Movie. Good call.
King of Kong.
Oh, King of Kong.
Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Knives Akimbo.
Anyway,
Knight's Tale.
Different
Knives
podcast.
Out.
Wait, no, it's Guns Akimbo.
Just look at the server,
Out.
dude.
There we go. Knives Out, not Guns Akimbo. Not, wow. I mixed up 2 movie titles. Ignore me. I should die. Okay.
Have you guys been watching any good television?
Oh, that. Why would we talk about television?
Wrong podcast. Sorry.
We have.
What did we watch? Wait, hold on. Can
we talk about DMZ?
We can. We just watched that.
It was really good. Yeah, we watched the first episode tonight because, our girl Rosario Dawson, yum, yum, yum. So she was, she is the star of this show. And I just, she just captivates me, truly. Dan and I started discussing this last night, and we didn't have any notion about this show other than the comic because it's based on a Vertigo property. And we both went, yeah, but Rosario's in it, and she makes really good choices. Yeah.
So we were both in, yeah. Absolutely.
I'm in just because I love her. Like, I love everything she does on screen. I kind of I idolize her. Like, her energy on screen is so good that I kind of just want to be her in real life all the time. Whether she's Ahsoka Tano or this lady in DMZ. Like, yeah.
Speaking of sidetracking now, today I went into Hobby Lobby and I was walking from the back of the store to the front of the store very quickly, and the path that I was heading down past, like, they have this section where it's all comic book related stuff, whether it be signs or whatnot. And in that comic book area, they have some Star Wars stuff, and they had a lenticular poster of Rosario as Ahsoka.
Shut up.
And I was so tempted to buy it because it was her in 3D.
You could have her in your house.
Yes.
Right? I mean, listen, we already have Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman, so
Do we still have
as
Hugh?
well.
I thought I
You
got rid of
saved
Hugh.
both standees because you're a fucking monster.
I am. They're in the closet.
So yeah, we watched the first episode of that, and like literally, I think 5 minutes in, I was like, the trailer I was not sold on, and then we got about 5 minutes in, and I was like, of course I'm going to want to watch this, and then I at the end of the episode was like, man, I wish we had time for one more because we literally watched it right before we started this.
Well, we watched that because we tried to fill the time with Dickinson.
Yeah,
because we're trying to catch up on that, and season 3.
We're about halfway through season 3, and I'm just not as into it. It seems like once they got off of knowing what actually happened in Emily Dickinson's life, they decided to kind of just go a little crazy. Yeah, and the stuff they've made up is like, okay, so the biggest thing I have a problem with, honestly, and this has been the hardest turn off, aside from shitty Danny Rand, is the character growth. I'm going to air quote that real hard and then throw some salt for the character of Sue is bullshit. She went from being like a bestie to a person who
started
was living,
as a love interest.
Yeah, but like, you know, she gets. I understand, like her family died. She has to go live elsewhere. She is, you know, sexually assaulted by the guy that she's working for, and like not great things. I understand that she has this trauma and this struggle. And then she comes back and she's working through things emotionally, but then all of a sudden in season 3, it's like, or I guess like end of season 2, it's like, I never stopped loving you, Emily, and the only time I feel anything is when I'm with you, even though I've been a total bitch to you for this entire season, and I've only gotten worse, and I've been incredibly shallow, and I'm a miserable wench to my husband, but I love you. And Emily, who has been like struggling with this relationship the entire season and kind of over it, is all of a sudden like, oh, okay, let me spread them. Like, what the fuck, man? And now everything is just, oh, but we love each other and da-da-da-da-da. Like, I just don't believe this character growth at all. I think the entire thing was forced, and I'm not on board with it, and I don't feel like this character has actually grown, and now anything they do since then where the character growth might feel a little bit genuine is undermined for me by that turn, because it just didn't. It was like a wrestling heel turn. It didn't make sense at all.
Well, they did that with her and with Austin. Austin heel turned real quick.
Well, Austin's decline has been like very ongoing.
He went from depressed, mildly depressed, to raging alcoholic in one episode.
That's also, well, I think it was a season though. I think it was the end of the season.
It may have been a season change. Yeah, but the fact of the matter is that happened. And now, apparently, I don't know, we've watched, I think it started happening at the end of season 2, and we watched a couple of episodes in season 3. Every episode, they introduce a new asshole that I do not like. Like, stop putting this person on screen. Why, like, it's not necessary. And it's I don't want to say pain, it's a drudge to watch this show. And that's not how it was in the beginning. Like, for the first season and a half, even the first half of season 2 is like tolerable. Like, it was good. Keep going.
I do still like certain things about it though. Like, I like what they did with the No One story arc. I think the way they play off of death is fun. I think some of the comedic moments are really great. It just feels like they kind of lost like they didn't really know what they were doing with the show anymore. So I've been a little bummed about that because I keep going back to it and being like, yeah, but like the show's really smart and it's witty and it's well written and I love like the modern incorporated with the old, and you know there's things that they're doing, like there's still aspects of the show that I like and I'm glad that it exists. I'm just not enjoying it as much as I used to.
Maggie's my favorite.
Maggie
Yes.
is awesome. I wish I had more to contribute to this, but it's been so long since I watched it, and it's just kind of fallen out of my head.
It's okay.
It does all sound very familiar,
Okay.
Yeah,
but I don't remember being as mad at the show, and maybe I wasn't watching it as critically just because I'm so enamored with the lead.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's one of those things where because I'm kind of selective about what I'm spending my time on, like I quit Walker, couldn't keep hate watching it, had to stop.
Good for you.
Right? Thank you. And now I'm like, okay, I'm watching this show and I'm like, but there could be something else I haven't seen, or even something that I want to revisit that I know I'm going to enjoy more than this. So I'm just like so selective about it. And I think it makes me hypercritical sometimes because like, there's another thing I've been watching, and I want to let Evan talk about what he's been watching first, but I just want to tell you guys, I started watching Killing Eve.
Go ahead.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. How much have you guys watched of this show?
We're caught up to current.
Oh my God. Okay. So I am in season 2 now, and holy fuck, that show, hook,
What even
line, and
happens
sinker.
in season 2?
Sorry.
But it's been so long. Please refresh my memory. I have no clue what season 2 was even about.
I'm so ready for this. Okay, spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't watched this, but if you're as dumb as I am and you have waited this long, then you fucking deserve spoilers, so here it goes. Episode 3, they rope you in. They're like, all right, Eve, we want you to go and we want you to investigate this serial killer and take Bill. Bill's great. He's a 60-year-old dad because that makes sense. And then he's like, let's just, go on an adventure. And they're so cute and endearing. And I'm like, he's going to fucking die. He's going to die. There's no way that a character this lovable, who's this sweet and keeping the main character this grounded will survive. And by the end of the episode, he is fucking dead. And the way that they did it, I literally had to stop watching and then write in our Discord server and just basically put this show stresses me out and makes me so angry, but then not talk about why, other than the fact that they did such a good job, because the way that they did it is Eve gets separated from Bill and he's following the girl that they are tracking, because the whole premise of this show, for anyone who doesn't know, because I didn't, I just dove in, is that the main character is Eve and she is hunting a serial killer. She has this fascination, but she's not just a serial killer, she's an assassin for hire, but it seems as though she really enjoys her work, hence the psychopathy and serial killer label that I'm applying here. And so Eve, it gets into this special program with MI6 where she is tracking this person, and in episode 3 she gets sent on her first away mission. Star Trek. But she in her research, being separated from her friend / partner Bill, he sees the serial killer trying to track Eve because this person has become aware of Eve and distracts the serial killer and then goes to follow her. And her name is Villanelle. I just want to call her Villanelle because it's so much easier than just being serial killer. Blah, blah, blah. So he's following Villanelle, and Villanelle leads Bill into this nightclub, and then there's this massive throng of bodies on the dance floor.
I remember this.
And he follows.
Right.
This was heartbreaking.
This was so, and it was so anxiety inducing, especially post pandemic, because I'm just looking at this massive
I forgot
pile of
all about this character.
Right?
That's how far removed we are from where that was.
Yeah, and
I forgot
that's
all
the
about
thing.
that guy.
Yeah,
That's such a bummer.
and that's so I think for me the reason why he's sticking so strongly in my head is, first of all, I'm massively watching, as much as I can binge this, I am binging it. And so he's in this mass of bodies and all of these people all around him, and they've been pushing through the crowd, and then all of a sudden Villanelle turns and locks eyes, and she's like, yeah, that's right, motherfucker, I know you're following me, and now I'm coming for you. And he's like, shit, because I know that's what's happening. So she went from this cat and mouse game to being incredibly predatory, and he's realizing now, oh shit, I was the mouse the whole time. And she goes toward him, but then Eve has been getting voicemail messages from him as he had been contacting her and giving her updates while he followed Villanelle. And Eve is in the nightclub, And just after Villanelle has caught up with Bill and pulled out this little fucking tiny punch knife and stabbed him, I don't know, like 50,000 times in the chest, he's collapsing to the floor, and Eve is reaching for him with all of this desperation, screaming, and she's this tiny fucking little Asian woman in these bodies. She cannot get through the crowd to him, and she's just watching him die. And it was like, so I literally, like, even reliving this moment in my brain, have horrible anxiety over this entire situation, just her helplessness, that massive pressing, like, again, just building of pressure, and that fear and that helplessness, and then that giant press of bodies surrounding you, and literally just not, like, you cannot go anywhere. Like, all of it's a nightmare. And her character, since that moment, I have just watched her going into season 2, like, unraveling as a human being. And I really think that he was a major part of what would have kept her grounded throughout all of this. And so for the direction of the writing, like, what they did made sense, but it's, like, so devastating, because I think looking back, like, you can see that would have been the presence he played for her, and it's just like everything she's going through right now, it's just crazy. And it's this show's so fucking good. It's so good. It's so well written. I love it. I can't get enough of it. And Villanelle is such an interesting character.
Oh, how captivating is Jodie Comer? Oh my God.
She's amazing. She's amazing.
God, when was season 2? We watched that years ago.
Oh yeah, we're on season 4 now.
Yeah, it's
been a while.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, what's funny is like on the Plex, it shows me what we have recently played episodes. And it's funny because, like, today we watched DMZ, an episode, or I clicked on an episode of Young Rock, Dickinson, and Hit Monkey. If I go back, I don't know, 2 days ago, it was a show that I watched one episode of, 6 episodes of Killing Eve. Then I must have come back into the living room because then we watched Resident Alien again.
It was only I just closed the window. I think it was only like 3 years ago.
Probably, yeah, because we're early in season 4 now.
The apocalypse happens, so everything
Yeah,
feels so much longer.
Time
It
means
just
nothing.
seems like that was such a long time ago.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, it's all very fresh for me. And I was sick on Sunday, so I was able to just sit and watch
that
episodes.
That must have been Sunday then.
Yeah. But it's I'm really enjoying the way that it's written. I am loving the fact that Sandra Oh is so interesting, because there's a way that, like, I feel like she has this ability as an actress. Like, she's the person who I think is, like, experiencing this entire, like, range of emotions, and sometimes she shows it, but for the most part she'll just present outwardly like she's kind of okay. And sometimes I feel like she presents in a way that she appears like kind of level or flat, but underneath the surface she's always really manic, whereas, like, Villanelle is or Jodie Comer is like playing all these really fun, outrageous characters and roles, and showing all of these, like, really fun, wild expressions, but she doesn't actually feel anything.
It's a sociopath.
It's psychopathy. She literally gets called a psychopath. I had to look it up, and it's basically like that limited feeling of emotions, but she can still feel them. And it's so fascinating the way that these characters, like, I just got to the point where she was in the hospital after Eve stabbed the shit out of her, and, like, she's with this kid who got into a car accident and his parents died, and his face had to be, like, basically reconstructed. And she looks at it and he's like, tell me how bad is it? And she's like, oh my God, you're a monster. Like, straight up. And he's like, I knew it. No one else would be honest with me, blah, 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 blah. And then he's like upset, and she's like hugging him, trying to, like, comfort him essentially in the only way she can. And then she's like, you're right. You are a monster, and your life would suck like this. And then she fucking snaps his neck.
Slowly, which was creepy. Like, I happened to be in the room at that point in time, and she hugs him just a little too hard.
Yeah. And it's like, and Evan was there for my like play-by-play commentary, was like, oh, he's gonna die, she's gonna kill him, and then like literally 5 seconds later, oh, he's dead. And it was like this, oh man, I know this is coming, and I really, oh nope, there it is. Okay, moving on.
Oh, it happened. Oh, look at that. There it is.
Well, that's the character.
I have known since the first moment that character was on screen, that first scene where she's in the ice cream place and she's like making faces with the girl, and then like she gets up to leave and knocks the ice cream into the little girl's lap. I'm like, I'm gonna like this girl.
Yeah.
Like, she's fun to watch.
It's my spirit animal right there.
And it's so interesting, right?
I don't know about that. I'm not quite a psycho.
No, I wouldn't go that far. But I do find it like really interesting just how dynamic, like she's charismatic, like you like her. And I feel like it's some of this reminds me a little bit too of like when we were watching Orphan Black, because she can play so many roles, and the way she can switch from accents and languages, and
ridiculous. It's amazing.
I kind of want to see like Tatiana Maslany and Jodie Comer on a show together, but I think that would be too powerful for this universe.
I think the universe would implode.
Yeah.
I smell sitcom.
There is no greater power than these incredible women.
That would be cool though if she got like a guest spot on She-Hulk.
I know. Yeah. Especially if she played like 2 or 3 different characters, the way that Tatiana Maslany, who was playing characters on Orphan Black, like as a nod to that. I just think that'd be fucking hysterical. But yeah, so that I needed to share. I have been dying to talk about this with somebody else who's seen this show, because it was recommended to me by someone down here, and then Evan was like, oh yeah, I think we watched an episode of that for the podcast, and then I was like, how have we not watched all of it?
Yeah, we've definitely talked about this one a bunch. Yeah.
Maybe before Angie's time though.
Yeah, I think you guys may have mentioned it once or twice when I first started recording, but like I didn't get any of it. I wasn't watching it. I didn't understand like just the little bits of humor that they have in the show, and how they can drastically, in 3 episodes they made me like love a character that they murdered, and I was like genuinely grieving for this loss. So fuck you, BBC, you're so good. I love this show. Good. So good. Okay, move on. Somebody else talk.
We also caught up on Resident Alien, which is still doing a fantastic job. Mm-hmm. We're caught up on Young Rock, which I enjoy the hell out of that show because it's funny and there's a lot of good wrestling nods to it. Problem with Jon Stewart is still fantastic. Like having Jon Stewart on my television again is cathartic for me.
Yeah, thank you for pointing me in that direction. I've been watching a lot of that on YouTube. Not even really watching all that much, just so much as listening. But I subscribe to their official YouTube channel, and I've been listening to everything they post. And dude hasn't skipped a beat. Like he's very much still him.
Yeah, and it's great.
If anything, he's more him because of the platform that he's on now.
Right.
He can say things that he couldn't say on Comedy Central, like
very
news come.
Yes, exactly.
Do you guys watch Last Week Tonight?
Occasionally.
Again, on the YouTube channel, I don't sit and watch the whole show. But
yeah,
I watch whatever they post.
Same thing for me.
Yeah.
I just wondered. Because after
Quite
Daily
good.
Show, I tried. Trevor Noah is cool, but he just didn't do what Jon Stewart did for me.
Same. I tried sticking with him for a good long while, but just didn't have the same. Wasn't really hitting it for me.
Yeah.
John Oliver filled that void way better, I thought.
Yeah. Same.
And I think that's it for catching up and whatnot. But I did. Oh, have we spoken about Our Flag Means Death yet?
We haven't. Chris didn't watch it, but I did. But I didn't watch the last 2 episodes yet.
Okay, so we're only like two episodes in, but we are enjoying the hell out of that show, and it is so weird, and it's a great take on the stereotypical pirate story, if you will. but it is a lot of fun. When I saw the cast and I knew it was going to be a hit, so I'm enjoying the hell out of that.
Oh my God, it's so funny.
He feels bad about killing a guy when everybody's like, well, you really didn't, because he sort of like he fell on his sword through his face. Other than that, I started watching a show that I found. It's a docu-series. It's called The Toy Store Near You. I found it's like 4 seasons. It's maybe 6 episodes per season. They're short. But what it is this guy goes around the country, and he's pretty much the world, because he's hit a couple of foreign countries, but mainly it's been in the United States, and he visits toy stores, like retro or consignment stores or classic. Like it's just a deep dive into how these people do what they do and why they do it, and it's really, really interesting. Like, this is my wheelhouse because I love this kind of stuff, and every episode they do a top 5 favorite toys in the store, and it's them talking to the owners, the proprietors of the business, and those people pick the top 5 toys, and there's some fantastic stuff that these people show off. It is lower budget. It's not the highest, like the intros. The guy who is producing it, or I guess the creator, he does these weird intros for each of the episodes. He's not on the rest of the episode at all. But they're like in his collection room, and the sound's kind of wonky, but it shows that it is like a labor of love kind of thing. Like, he did this because he wanted to, not because someone told him to. And it's really great. There was actually one Farpoint Toys and Collectibles.
That's near us. Yeah.
Which I've been there, and I'm like, oh, I know that place. And they tell a backstory about that place where everything, all of these episodes, well, at least the first 2 seasons, happened in the throes of COVID. So it's, how the store came to be, how they're dealing with that, and so far all of them have made it past that. But there's that store in particular, like, there was this like really bad storm at their store, and 2 Transformers blew like just about simultaneously, which sent this surge of power to their fuse box, which fused one of the panels together and just sent massive amounts of electricity into their building, which sent every electrical outlet on fire. Like, God damn!
Yeah, I heard about this.
So it's if you're at all interested in classic toys, or the collector mentality, it's really, really worth the shot. It's a Toy Store Near You, and I'm enjoying the hell out of that. Other than that, I think that's about it.
Oh, Outlander.
Yeah.
Before you get to Outlander, just to that point of like shows about people collecting things, there's a show that I think Evan and Kris would like. It's a YouTube show. It's called Props to History. It's this guy Mike who collects movie props and is really into like just historical, like the preservation of them, and what happened to like the T-Rex from Jurassic Park, or the DeLorean or whatever. And I came across him on TikTok, and he's really interesting, and now he has a YouTube series, and I think anybody who's interested in movie props should check it out. Props to History on YouTube.
Cool. I will check that out.
Into that as well, so thank you.
You're welcome.
That sounds awesome, and that sound was not me.
No, that was me. I clicked so I can actually save it, and YouTube, when you click on a YouTube link, it instantaneously starts. Like, when you don't want it to, when you're waiting for it, it'll take like 6 or 7 days. Like, so just wanted to make sure that I don't lose that information, because that sounds definitely in my wheelhouse.
Cool.
But yeah, that's it. That's it's been our 2 weeks.
Yep. And all I was saying was that Outlander's back. I finished season 5. Apparently I missed 1 episode, and now season 6 is here. So that'll be the next thing I watch when I'm not watching Killing Eve.
Did you ever finish Discovery of Witches?
Nope.
Girl.
Because I only watch that show with my one friend, and my one friend, like, our schedules just have not meshed because she's usually like, let's do something on a weeknight where we stream this and watch it together. And I'm like, or I could just go kill myself because I don't want to go sit at my computer any more than I already do. It's so frustrating. But I also want to watch the show with her, so it looks like that's going to be the only option I have. Like, because most of my television is like, I watch it in the morning for like 10 minutes at a time, or on a weekend when I'm sick.
For 14 hours at a time.
Yeah. So.
Well, let me go first because I don't have a lot. So, Call the Midwife is back on its bullshit. The new episodes came out on Sunday. Yeah, it's 1967 now. Time marches on. The babies are still coming. The show it could go on forever just because it's so formulaic. Mm-hmm. But they continue to do things that like boggle my mind as to like some of the things they do. They're like, we're gonna try and like relate to a major event in history that happened, like especially like medical things. Like right now they're focusing on like getting people to quit smoking, and before that it was like, discovering people who got radiation poisoning from like nuclear testing. Like it's all these like medical things. Mm-hmm. But then other times they do stuff and I'm like, this is like purely for the drama, and I get that it's like kind of a soap, but like, what are you doing? So this premiere episode that they had, there's this like section of apartment buildings in the neighborhood in the area they work in that's like getting knocked down because it's like condemned in poor condition or whatever. So they're like working on this one building that's going to be knocked down, and they find skeletal remains of a child in the floorboards, and there's this whole, and like they do like a bunch of like investigating and find out that it's been there for like 30 years.
Does Lenny Briscoe show up?
I know, like
gong gong.
Like
was an episode.
The only thing that it has to do with like Call the Midwife, the premise is that the bodies were of children. Like they were babies.
Call the Midwife. Detective Midwife.
It's like CSI Poplar. I don't know. Like it turned out that it just so happened that the babies were born to this woman that they were like now treating as an older woman, and like, what are you doing? Stop trying to fix the show. It doesn't need to be fixed. It's
They're
just
calling
like when
the
they
midwife,
like
okay?
do flashy things on Law and Order, and you're like, no, just be Law and Order. I'm like, just be Call the Midwife. Just people having babies. That's all I need.
That's what I'm looking for.
And the lives of the people who deliver the babies. That's it. So yeah. Call the Midwife it's still great. It's just like, what the hell? I was gonna talk a whole bunch about Our Flag Means Death, but since you guys are behind me, I won't. I thought I had finished it because they're dropping 2 and 3 episodes at a time, and we got to the end of episode 8, and it seemed like a really big thing happened, and I was like, I guess that's the end of the season, because when it's on there, like it shows like the next couple of episodes and when they're going to drop, but they're not dropped yet. And there wasn't anything past it. And I was like, I guess that's where they're ending the season. That sucks. I went through it really fast. And then I just looked it up on IMDb earlier, and I was like, oh, no, there's 2 more episodes. And I didn't watch them last night because they don't come out until Thursday. That's why I didn't watch them last night.
So that is the only reason.
I am enjoying it as much as you guys are. It is very good, and I would recommend that if Kris had any time, I would recommend it to him too. I recommended it to my mother because it's just a weird enough, offbeat enough, like faintly whiff of like Monty Python-esqueness to it that I'm like, she might dig this. She doesn't have HBO, so I don't know how she's going to watch it, but she might dig this. And everything else that we have to talk about that I have to talk about is stuff that we both watch, but I'll leave most of that to Kris, but I want to talk about Mrs. Maisel. Because we finished Mrs. Maisel, and you guys don't watch Mrs. Maisel, right?
No.
Okay, so that's fine.
Yeah, after you're done with Killing Eve, jump on top of that one, because you're going to fall in love with Midge Maisel.
Okay.
There's two things I want to say about this. One is, because I forgot to mention it last time when we talked about it, she's working in like basically a strip club, except it's the 60s, and so it's like
a burlesque club.
It's more, it's what would be considered a burlesque club today, where there's no frontal nudity, basically. They wear pasties and little thongs, and they take everything else off. But the performances are like, I mean, when she starts working there, it's like a shitty place, and then like through her influence, it becomes a much better place. And the performances like improve and develop like as if the performers are inspired by like how good she is at her craft. Mm-hmm. They're like, we want to be better too. And I just really admire the show for showing that kind of work and that kind of talent in like a positive light. Like there's nothing, I mean, aside from the fact that the actual club itself is illegal, like, but within the circle of this place that they're at, nobody is like looking down on this as something to be ashamed of. It's like kind of considered an art. And they lend some screen time to actually showing the burlesque performances. Nice. And the women, the performers, are all different body types. It's like it's a little amazing to me, considering early in the show, when Midge is like a housewife, she is shown on screen like every day she takes measurements of her body to make sure she hasn't gained any weight in the last like day. And like that's and it's an extreme example, but it's to show like the feminine beauty standard she's expected to live up to. So now here we are 4 seasons in, and she's like telling jokes on stage at a club where women of all different body types are performing on stage, and like it's just considered an awesome thing. And I really appreciated that the show showed it like that.
Cool.
True burlesque is like that, so that's very cool.
Yeah. You should definitely jump on that after Killing Eve and after Discovery of Witches and after Outlander. I'll just keep listing shows because whatever. The other thing I have to say about it, because Kris knows, like, for a full day or two after it aired, I couldn't stop thinking about it, was this amazing final scene of the last episode, where she has been like trying to do things her way this whole season and putting all these like rules and limits on like what kind of gigs she'll do, to try and like be self-assertive. And she's friends with / involved with Lenny Bruce. Mm-hmm. And so at this point in the show is when he has his performance at Carnegie Hall. So she goes to see him, and he's really successful, and he, because of his recent success, is able to try and help her get a gig that she decides to turn down because of her fucking principles or whatever. Here I am again with my hit song, Alone with My Principles.
There it goes again. Off record his next great hit, Alone with My Principles.
But they have this, after his gig, they have this confrontation where he brings her onto the stage at Carnegie Hall and like talks about like how like he thinks she's screwing up her own career by like getting in her own way. The performance of this guy, Luke Kirby, he plays Lenny Bruce. It was just, I couldn't speak.
Yeah, we can tell. Karen is actually not able to articulate.
absolutely riveting. I couldn't I won't ruin it, but there's the final line of the scene, the way he delivers it, it just echoed in my ears for a straight day. And I rewatched the final scene, and I am not I'll rewatch a whole, slew of episodes, but I'm not going out back to let me just watch these 3 minutes because they made me happy. I went back to this scene several times because I just couldn't believe how good it was.
Cool.
I'm trying to look for the tweet that I...
What was the thing that, was it what he said, or was it what he said combined with how he said it, and it resonated, or...
And
everything.
It was building up to it so obviously it didn't affect me quite as much as it affected her, but that's saying that, people like the Metroid Dread, compared to me. Just because I damn near shit my pants when it was, announced doesn't mean that other people didn't enjoy it too. So I really enjoyed this scene, and it was really cathartic too, because the whole time, I'm not going to say this is on the level of Dana's dating plan, but her plan for this season seemed like a decent idea at first, but throughout the entire season, her manager is trying to do things for her, look, I understand what you're trying to do, but you cannot change the game all at once. There are things you have to do to get the notoriety to do what you want to do. And you need to climb the ladder. You have to continue to pay your dues. And Midge just wasn't hearing it. No, this is my plan.
She's I'm going to skip all that and just...
No, I deserve I deserve this, and I'm going to do it. And at first, it seems like this big empowering thing, but as the season goes along, it just keeps getting worse and worse. You are shooting yourself in the foot. And then Lenny Bruce at the end basically says exactly what you've been thinking the whole season, except articulated a jillion times better than you could ever think of it, and delivered just pitch perfect.
And the chemistry between the two, was palpable. You could cut it with a knife. It was absolutely captivating.
Nice.
This was I was a big fan of Gilmore Girls when that was on, and that's the only other show from... Have the Paladinos done something besides
They
Gilmore
did
Girls?
Bunheads, but that was short-lived.
Yeah, I never knew that one, but I was a big fan of Gilmore Girls when that show was on. It was all about the writing. It didn't necessarily take place on Earth, but
It did not.
Stars Hollow could not be real, but that was fine. It was fun, and the general nature of the show was elevated by the writing. It was fun to listen to these people talk, and this is that kind of writing put into kind of a much more realistic, and I hate to use the word gritty, but kind of is a much more just tactile world that's more complex with more with different kinds of issues in it. This show has just impressed the bejesus out of me since season 1, and it never has taken a step back. It is absolutely wonderful top to bottom, and this season I was so angry when I found out that was a season finale because I didn't think it was. It went by so quick because they were doing 2 episodes a week instead of 1, because previously they had just done a season dump and there it is, and now they went to kind of not the week by week as full on no, you only get 1. They gave us 2 a week, which was great, but also then it was still over so fast, and I wanted it to keep going. But yeah, that scene in particular that really left me that left an impression. That was a hell of a scene, and I hope folks are talking, if folks are tossing out awards, that dude deserves one. That was something. The show's amazing.
The other thing that I really appreciate about the show is how all the other characters on the show have as full they're as fully developed as the main character, because if it was just all about Midge and everybody else was kind of just a quirky side character with no depth, I think I'd hate this show. Midge is sometimes just kind of unbearable.
And that was what made me think of Gilmore Girls, because frickin' Rory is the frickin' worst.
Rory is the worst.
She's likable when you watch the show sometimes, but as soon as you step back and think about it, it's like, this lady's the worst.
And that is Midge too. Like between her like entitlement with the whole Shy Baldwin situation, and then this like friggin' the whole thing with Susie and basically screwing over your own manager because of your principles. Like if they weren't friends, this would not be the business relationship wouldn't have lasted.
Right.
So like lots of other wonderful things happened in the season too, and shout out to I can't remember her name, the woman who plays her mother in the last episode of the season. They go to a magic show and she gets picked from the audience to be
Oh my god, that was
go on stage.
Characters playing other characters, like that was some like Orphan Black shit right there, because she's being her character being the other character.
Yeah,
and
she got hypnotized by the magician, and then the magician was like, do what your daughter does for a living. And so her mother, who's very conservative and uptight, under hypnosis, like recreates this like very dirty comedy act that she went and saw in secret behind Midge's back, and it blew my mind. And then like she wakes up from hypnosis and has no idea what she's done.
Sounds
so yeah, I can't
great.
say enough good things about Mrs. Maisel, and people should watch it. And honey, what else have we been watching?
Well, what else have we been watching? We've been watching Law and Order, which has been Law and Order.
Has it gotten
As it should be, yes.
As it should be. It hasn't hit me up with I haven't felt bad about any episodes finishing them going since that first one. The first one was rocky as heck, but every episode since has just been Law and Order.
And that's a good thing.
Just couldn't be happier.
Great.
Blending right in with the older episodes. You know, the one that was just this last week was super interesting, because like lawyer guy he's not growing on me to the effect of like, yeah, I really like this guy, but he's fine. I'm fine with lawyer guy. Lawyer girl's pretty decent too. But the case was interesting, because it was like, yeah, she's right. I can't even remember exactly what it was about. They were doing the Britney Spears thing, but like in a very far removed way. And it was like the ADA, the girl ADA did something that was borderline illegal to get the right legal outcome. And like the guy ADA was like not having it. And it's like, man, this is tough, because I can see where both of them are coming from. Like, yeah, no, she's doing what is morally right, but at the same time, that's not really their job. And like, she was this close to getting into some pretty serious legal trouble. So it was that, and that's the kind of shit I love seeing in Law and Order, because it's fun, it's interesting, and I'm very much enjoying it. Big thumbs up. And then like they show commercials for all the other Law and Order shows that are really, really dramatic and lore based, and I'm like, God, I'm glad I'm not watching any of this. Oh, I'm glad I'm not anywhere near it. And speaking of Law and Order, I've been doing a lot of that in the background during my lunch breaks, and anytime I'm working where I don't have to worry too much about words, I have that on in the background. It's been a very, very Law and Order mood. That's been fun.
Cool.
It's nice to just have like a comfort show, isn't it?
It is. It is indeed. Picard is still going really well. That's fun. What are we, 3 episodes in now?
I think so.
Sounds right.
Yeah. So they managed to travel back in time. They got like half a Borg queen, their ship, the top half, so she can talk. Yeah, it's been an experience, man. They're like traveling all around. Something's wrong with Q, which I think is interesting. Like, I thought it was just watching the trailers, and even the first episode. They hinted at it in the first episode, but like Just figure out, well, it's going to be a season about Q being a dick and just being Q. But, like, there's something wrong with him. There's something, like, weirdly malicious about what he's doing. And, like, Picard even asked him, like, are you okay? Because even this seems like a little out of place for him, you know, by his standards. So they haven't been diving too much into Picard's mommy issues, which has been fine. But, you know, whatever. He's allowed to have mommy issues. He's like 150 years old. He can have some mommy issues to work through before he dies if he wants to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they killed off one of the characters, which we're now all hoping that by fixing the timeline we'll unkill him, because like he's great, and don't you kill Elnor. I like that guy. he's a nice murdery kid who's joined Starfleet, and he's being a little less murdery now. But yeah, no, Picard's been a joy, quite a pleasure to watch. Alison Pill is great on it. She just did this one bit where she let the Borg Queen like attempt to assimilate her in order to get information out of the Borg Queen. And what did she say? she did some bit behind the Borg Queen's back that she didn't know about. So like the Borg Queen, when she gets detached from her or whatever, is like, I know all this. I know this information. I know you backwards and forwards. And then she starts coughing up all this other stuff Borg Queen didn't know that she did. She's like, oh yeah, I stuck it all in my file. It's called shit I stole from the Borg Queen.
Oh god,
and that wasn't me
so
paraphrasing.
Great.
It was
That was the line.
That was the line. Shit I stole from the Borg Queen.
That's awesome.
Absolutely great. This show is wonderful. Really fun to watch. And speaking of fun to watch, we continued Around the World in 80 Days. Because the what's it? All the new TV that we're watching isn't necessarily available earlier in the week, so
Right.
We only watched the second episode. We don't have a ton of time to watch stuff, but ooh, boy, that train going over the bridge, huh?
Yeah.
That was tense.
I have a particular fear of driving over bridges, and so I was not okay during that scene.
Did we see that
how much
scene?
more have you guys watched?
We've only seen the first one.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah, it's it continues to be good. So
good.
Good. We're definitely gonna stick with that with the time that we got. But yeah, second episode was really good. It's very good. There's a train. It's got to get over a bridge. Bridge ain't looking too good, but it's really intense. So good on that show.
I'm glad you're enjoying it.
Yeah, me too. Outside of that, I haven't watched any of this. We're almost to this end of season 2 in Avatar.
They got Appa back.
Yay! I hated when he was gone.
It was so sad when he was gone. And this episode we watched tonight had some of my favorite Mako moments in it, where he was Uncle Iroh's just begging Zuko to stop being an idiot.
Yep.
And he's just, it's my destiny. He's like, dude, look at yourself. Look what you're doing. Look, you're wearing a stupid mask. You're about to kidnap this bison and do what with it? To do what with it? You don't have a plan. I love the way he delivers that whole scene. And like we watched just the other night the Tales in Bossing Say episode, which had the first bits that weren't acted by Mako, and they stick out like a sore thumb to me. But like, that was the one that they dedicated to him, and it's just such a shame that he died when he did. To not get to finish out that role. And obviously, because it's a shame that the guy died, obviously, but it was a shame that we didn't get more of him as Iroh, because God, the voice actor that replaces him is a just palest of pale imitations of him, which bugs me. But really
I appreciated his effort, though, because it didn't feel like it was, I mean, it felt like they were still doing their best to try and honor the origin of that character. Like, yeah,
they were and they weren't, because like it's some white dude. Like, and it's there's things like that bug me in the voice acting choices in this show from time to time. Like, right now we're in Bossing Say, and the leader of the Dai Li is Clancy motherfucking Brown. That dude ain't Chinese. You can't pretend that he is. Clancy Brown's voice coming out of that guy's mouth is like, I love Clancy Brown as a villain, but this, like, I know what this dude is, and like, you really couldn't have gotten an Asian dude to play this role. It's just like Mark Hamill as the Fire Lord. Like, I will never speak ill of Mark Hamill, but he's not the Fire Lord. Why does Iroh sound like an old Japanese guy, and the Fire Lord, his brother, sounds like Mark fucking Hamill?
It was a different time.
It was a different time. Yeah, it was a different time, and the fact that they got, Rufio and Mako to do the voices that they did, like, it was more spot on than it was more spot on than not, but it sticks out a little bit more to me now. But yeah, so Avatar's going great. As far as me, I haven't watched any of this show, but every time I turn on Netflix, there's a big stupid commercial for the show. Is it cake? It's a show about cakes, and you got to look at them and say, is that what a cake, or is that the real thing? Here's 2 bowling balls. One of them's a cake. And then they cut into the cake one. It's like, oh, that was a cake. I was wrong. And that's the show. And I don't know how to feel about this. But Netflix really wants me to watch it. So I'm probably not gonna.
It just reminds me, this keeps coming up in my life, but it reminds me of this old Letterman thing that they used to do called Will It Float?
See, I keep thinking of Will It Blend.
Right, which is where Will It Float, like, that came from Will It Float. Like, the Will It Float is the original bit where, like, they would make a big production number out of Paul Schaefer playing the intro theme, and then they'd bring out this big tank of water out on the stage, and they'd have something, and they'd be like, is it gonna float? I don't know, let's see. Then they'd throw it in and see if it floated or not, and that was it. That was the whole bit. They didn't take it any further than that, because if you take it any further than that, it's not funny anymore. But but apparently, Is It Cake is the same thing, except they made it a whole show.
Well, maybe it's the making of said cake, and you just don't see the end. Who knows?
I think the making of the cake might be a part of the show, but it seems like the bulk of the show is, look at 2 items. Is this a cake? I don't know. Yes? It was wrong. The other one's a cake.
Oh, foiled again.
Man.
I don't know how I feel about this.
And I still don't have another season of Firefly.
You can laugh at that, but do you know how often I have to hear him say that?
There's a lot
daily.
of shitty television out there.
And the other thing that I found this on YouTube, and I've been very much enjoying it. Enjoying it is a strong word. So, you know me, I'm a Dragon Ball whore. I have not watched all of Dragon Ball GT.
Are you cheating
because
on
Dragon
Star
Ball
Wars?
GT is fucking terrible. It's a bad show, and it should feel bad for being the show that it is. It does things. It goes places that shows shouldn't go. It was clearly made by some disturbed individuals. Like, I mean, just look up Dragon Ball GT deer scene, and that's a real thing that happened in a television show that aired. And you just gotta think to yourself, why was this drawn? Who did this? Why did you think that this was a thing that needed to happen to, like, an underage girl in a TV show ever? What is wrong with you?
Oh my God.
What exactly is wrong with you? So yeah, you guys can go ahead and Google that, because that's all I want to talk about it. But so I found this guy, this YouTube channel called Bink Bonk.
What? I'm sorry. Wait. Hold on.
It was not what he said. It was how he said it.
Very much so.
Bink Bonk.
Okay.
That's the name of the channel. And this entire channel is dedicated to, I shortened Dragon Ball GT's 28th episode down to about a minute. He's done every episode of the entire series. And, like, this isn't like Dragon Ball Z Abridged, where, like, they're revoicing everything and making it into a comedy. This guy just took every episode and edited every single one down to about a minute. Or less. Sometimes a little bit more. Like, I'm looking at one, it's 1:40. There was another one that was like 8 seconds. And the entire episode was Goku yelling and flying straight up into the air. Because that's the only thing of value that happened in the entire episode. Nice. So that's what he did. He basically made the Dragon Ball GT 60-second summary. Except
Nice.
literally edited the shows down. And since I've never seen GT before all the way through, this is how I'm going to get through it. And I've made it past the what do you call those guys? The Bom Para Para dancers.
Sure.
Yeah, this is a TV show. It had some really interesting ideas, but boy, it is mired under there's just some real thick trash. I mean, there's a line where these guys are dancing and they say, we're going to lay this down real thick like cold milk. And you just want to scream. They made a joke about it in Dragon Ball Z Abridged. Actually, there was a character that was cursed with the ability to see the future, and then he fast forwarded to seeing the Bone Para Para dancers in Dragon Ball GT, and like they said that line, and I just thought it was some goofy shit that the Dragon Ball Z Abridged people came up with. Which after that happened, the character said, I now open my arms to the sweet embrace of death. And then he died. And then I got to this, then I watched this, and no, that was a line that happened in the show. And I was sad. But that's been fun. That's been a real cultural experience for me.
A hoot.
Would you really define that as fun? I'm not feeling the fun vibes just yet.
Yeah, no, I don't think fun's the right word for it. Fun.
Okay, well.
Fun is harsh, but it is like this is, as a Dragon Ball fan, I feel that it is my responsibility to have at least seen GT once, but I just can't get through it. I just can't get through entire episodes. So this is going to be how I do it, and I'm okay with that.
I mean, as long as you're okay with it.
As long as you're putting forth the effort, which is admirable.
I am. And it's not even technically canon anymore. So basically, because GT happened when if I'm remembering my history right, I could be wrong.
My history.
But the way it was explained to me is Dragon Ball Z ended and Akira Toriyama was just like, all right, that's done. And then the network was like, no, it's not. And he was like, okay, but I'm done. And they're like, cool. We own this name, so Dragon Ball GT. And they just came up with a bunch of shit and made a sequel series. People didn't really like it, so Dragon Ball kind of went away for a long time. But then, recently Toriyama was involved in Dragon Ball Super, and that basically erases GT from existence, and I'm very happy about that. So,
okay, that makes more sense now.
Yeah. Any hoosers, well, we should take ourselves a break because we still got some news to cover, and it's getting late. So we're going to do exactly that. We are going to do some commercials. We're going to come back. We're going to hit up the news. You're listening to this week's episode from Geekade.com. Stick around. And now, here's a quick look at some of the other original content available now from our partners and Geekade.com.
First up, there's nothing quite like the feeling of finding out something you had completed years ago wasn't actually complete in the first place. But for Kris, close enough is close enough, and at least he knows that what he has to track down now... Nope, I read that wrong. This is what happens. I enlarge type and I still can't read. But for Kris, close enough is close enough, and at least he knows what he has to track down now. In case you're wondering what I'm talking about, because I'm wondering, Kris recently got his Nintendo Power Collection out on shelves for easier access, and then decided to go ahead and make a video about the process. He also spent a bunch of time spotlighting how the magazine has evolved over the years from the Nintendo Fun Club newsletter all the way to the spiritual successor, Nintendo Force. Get a glimpse at a whole lot of old-ass magazines in Stone Age gaming, complete... Air quote. There's an air quote voice that exists now. Did you guys know that?
As Kris was talking about it, he kept saying, I'm air quoting this, complete.
Quote unquote, complete Nintendo Power Collection, available now on the Stone Age Gamer YouTube channel. Go watch it.
All right, buckle up, folks.
All right.
I spent a long time writing this one.
All right, I can do this. All right. Next. Father, like son, you're always number one. Best buddies, best pals. You always seem to work things out. You can see it's two of a kind. So you wanted me to sing this.
Are you dancing right now?
I am jigging away.
I have a little confirmation.
Now give me a beat. There it is.
Don't miss the SNES podcast, episode 184, Goof Troop.
You're so proud of yourself right now.
I was really wondering how you'd handle it because Dan did a nice dramatic reading of it, including the babaloo bop at the end. Good times.
Well, how can one possibly follow that up except to say, finally, the weekend rental crew takes on an impossible task. A choice that's so hard to make, no one in their right mind should be forced to make it. But these brave souls have dedicated their lives to making these tough choices, and they're passing the savings on to you. It's a buy, rent, burn on classic Mario games, and tears will be shed. Will the decision be too difficult for even them to stand? Will they just throw their hands up and burn them all? Three's only one way. Typos are fun. There's only one way to find out. Plus, there's some Turtles discussion, a visit to the mayor, and find out what all that means in Weekend Rental episode 121. The gamers are in another castle.
The amount of effort I put into these really exceeds the
Mind
amount of
wobbling.
return.
Staggering.
For all this and more from us and our partners, be sure to keep your eyes on geekade.com.
Ba-da-ba-da-doop-bop-dee-doop.
All right, hi everybody. We're back. It's time to go over some news stories, and it's been a little while. There's been some developments, so let's go ahead and see what's going on with this stuff. We've got our first news story as Disney Plus announces release date for Daredevil and more on the Netflix shows. They're coming to Disney Plus, or they came to Disney Plus. They're here. They hilariously edited the Netflix Presents out of the title sequence in Jessica Jones. You guys seen that?
I have not seen that, no.
It's the only one that, it's just gone from the other ones, but the way it worked in Jessica Jones is, the text showed up, and then there was, some white scribbles behind it. And they erased the text, but they didn't erase the white scribbles. So, there's just this white scribble shows up on the screen for a minute, and then it goes away. What the hell was that?
Okay.
So,
job,
yeah,
Disney.
these all the Netflix shows are officially on Disney Plus now. They did not file them in with MCU stuff. So I guess that's their way of saying that they aren't technically part of the MCU, but we still don't really have all the answers to that, seeing as Mr. Murdoch and Mr. Kingpin showed up in MCU properties. So
Yes, they did.
what's cool about this is that they added an age rating thing to enter into Disney Plus. And this had a couple of different fun implications. Number one, it was just fun because there was a ton of pearl clutching going on. How dare you put this on your family-friendly Disney Plus app?
Did you see, though, the hilarious thing that they had to do? There was a cover image for Daredevil that had, Matt Murdock, bleeding from the head. Was the image that showed up across the deck of slides at the top when it was here's all the new stuff. And there were complaints, obviously, because children go on there. And so then they changed it to an image of Daredevil with the helmet on, and it was no violence. But it was just
yeah, maybe they shouldn't have gone with the bleeding head one.
Good job, idiots.
Yeah. I'm not saying censor the shows, but maybe the thumbnails. Let's not.
Just think about the thumbnails.
Just think a little bit about that. Not every kid's going to always be using a kid's account. Just going to throw that out there.
The children.
I like that this stuff's on here. I like that they're doing the age gating that kind of opens up Disney Plus to be a more
Moon Knight friendly
all-encompassing
channel
kind of thing. Exactly. because I have been slightly concerned that we were going to get a really toned down Moon Knight. But now that these shows are on there, it's like, well, maybe Moon Knight's going to be pretty messed up. So we'll find out.
Here's hoping.
I was going to say, do you think that was the intention all along? Maybe this was the grand plan.
I would not doubt it.
Cool.
These folks plan ahead all the time, except when making Star Wars sequels. What's that about? I love those movies.
Attack.
I love them to death, but there was no plan, and it showed. This is a fun story right here. So when this was posted, this was back before this was even confirmed. And Karen posted this story, and it was just for Canada, so this hadn't been officially confirmed until right down here. There we go. So it did get confirmed. It was Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, Luke Cage, Punisher, Defenders, and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. all on Disney Plus now. Pretty rad.
Yeah, cool.
This next news story is baffling to me. IGN reports Anthony Mackie joins Twisted Metal series in the lead role, coming to Peacock.
Yeah, what?
All right, so Twisted Metal, for anyone who doesn't know, is a video game about cars trying to blow up other cars, starring an ice cream truck driven by a demonic possessed clown.
Anthony Mackie. That screams Anthony Mackie.
Not sure that this is a property that needs to be translated into a live-action TV series. In fact, it's probably one of the last properties I would say, you know what needs to be a TV show is Twisted Metal. And you know where it needs to be? Frickin' Peacock. Apparently, Mackie's not playing Sweet Tooth. He's playing John Doe, which is, I don't know.
I'm sorry, the guy's name is Sweet Tooth?
Yeah, Sweet Tooth is the name of the clown.
The flaming clown.
Yep.
Yeah, he's got fire coming out of his head. It's stupid, but it's fine because the game's stupid, like in a great way. The original Twisted Metal is fun. It's just cars trying to blow up other cars. Like, here's an arena. You pick a random vehicle that can shoot. It's
Demolition
lightning
Derby.
or rockets. It's Demolition Derby. It's just blowing each other up.
How are they turning this into a television show?
Of Demolition
Apparently, some of the later games really started adding some lore, which I don't know that was a great idea, but whatever. Everything about this is just confusing to me, and so I don't want to talk about it anymore. This is happening now, or theoretically happening. I'm out.
I just got a picture in my mind of Anthony Mackie getting out of his car going, "It's about family," and then driving away.
Oh my God! Yes, please.
Drives away, and then the camera pans over to Vin Diesel crying a single tear.
A single man tear.
Actually, the clown mask comes off, and it was Vin Diesel the whole time.
Thank you,
It was
Karen.
Vin Diesel the whole time. All right, comicbook.com. Oh, this is a bummer. Comicbook.com. Ralph Ahn, fan favorite actor on New Girl, dies at 95. He was the old guy who was.
I was so
Trent.
sad.
Yeah, that's a bummer. I mean, again, as sad as you can be for somebody dying at the age of 95, right? 95 that's a solid run.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, dude had some credits, man.
Yes,
He's
he
been
did.
Around.
Yes, he
The
did.
guy's done a lot of stuff, and he was very. I like New Girl. It's a great show.
What's New Girl?
So yeah,
Sorry.
it's the sequel to Old Girl.
What?
Yeah,
It's
this
actually a
was that was a bummer, and not the last death we'll be talking about on the show tonight. But we're just going to keep on trucking. The Futurama Bender debacle, Benderacle, the Bendergate, whatever you want to call it.
2022.
John DiMaggio is going to be Bender on Futurama. They reached a deal. Hallelujah! Holy shit! Where's the Tylenol? Glad that's over. I'm probably not going to watch the new Futurama, but I don't know. I might take a swing at it.
I think I'm going to check it out to see. It's like, the car accident kind of thing. Like, I want to see
I didn't care. I didn't really care when they brought it back the last time. So, but, what the hey? I'm going to watch an episode.
I feel like it's
what it
important
smells like.
to acknowledge our morbid curiosities,
Mm-hmm.
Indeed. So that came to us from CBR.com. Thanks, CBR. You're the best.
Big fan.
Let's see. Karen sends this one from Variety. Crunchyroll is adding all Funimation anime content. Sony starts to phase out the Funimation brand.
So Crunchyroll now has all the anime?
I
much.
think they had. I think
The
what
bulk
this
of
is
it.
more. I think what this is about is that they're getting rid of the Funimation name. Like Funimation's been around for ages, and now Crunchyroll owns that, and Sony owns Crunchyroll. I don't know. Yeah, all anime is being owned by something, and then we're getting rid of the Funimation name, which is
Wow.
fine.
$1.175 billion. That's a hell of a
lot of money in
Crunchyroll.
anime.
Thank you, Dr.
There's a
Evil.
lot of anime. So that's neat, I guess, and good for them. There's another bummer, and this is a little bit more of a bummer. This is Salute Your Shorts star. This is coming from people.com. Salute Your Shorts star Kirk Bailey dead at 59. That's young.
That was crazy too, because like you took me back to Salute Your Shorts, and now I'm just like, how do I deal with this?
Yeah, he was the one who played Ugg, the camp counselor guy. Boy, I used to watch the heck out of Salute Your Shorts, man.
Yeah.
Really?
I
Loved
actually,
that
that was
show.
one show that I did actually like and know of as a child.
Those live action Nickelodeon shows from that specific era, like that, Hey Dude,
Yeah.
those were my jam.
I had such a crush on the cute one from Hey Dude.
David Lasher.
Yeah,
who
that's
eventually
him.
showed up on Blossom.
Yes.
My sister also had a crush on him.
Who didn't?
Me. I had a crush on Melody Hansen.
Of course you did.
Yeah. Everyone liked what's her name? The Brad. I thought Melody was the cuter one. She wound up marrying Ben Stiller, I think. I could be wrong. Anyway,
I think that show was how I. Never mind. Anyway, go ahead.
salute you. That's a big loss. Kirk Bailey, 59. That's too young. What did he say? It was some sort of cancer.
Freaking cancer.
Social media.
Yeah, lung cancer.
Awesome.
I mean, not really. What? Okay. Let's see what
was
we've got
sarcasm.
here.
Yeah.
Whoa. All right, so I
Did you
clicked
just-
on this link, and it was
Did you
just
click on that link
a
too?
giant David Tennant. Now David Tennant's looking at me like I owe him something. Like,
Well, don't you?
I mean, I guess I kind of do.
Okay, I get it. You use cookies. You can leave. Yes, leave the cookies on my computer, David Tennant.
DavidTennant.co.uk says filming complete on Good Omens season 2.
Yay!
Hey.
Yep.
So when are we
that's
getting
a
it?
big old David Tennant face.
Well, it is, to be fair, the source is davidtennant.co.uk. What else are they going to put up there?
But that's like a whole like when
Perhaps
you
a
click.
slightly smaller.
Yeah,
David
when you
Tennant face.
click on this link, anybody be warned. Like it is your whole screen. Okay, it's a
And
whole
he is
ass.
peering into your soul.
Yeah, he is eye fucking you just a little.
It's the slightly raised left brow. Like like you do owe him something.
That's the part that makes you quiver.
Hey, you just look at that face and think, Scrooge McDuck?
That's the part that makes you quiver. No, really, it's making
Brilliant
me
in that
uncomfortable.
role.
I have to close the window. Okay.
so we still don't know
next
when it's
up.
coming, though, right? We have not. Yep, hasn't been announced.
We
yet.
know that it is, and that's all that really matters.
That's true.
All right, Nerdist.com reports that Disney Plus to launch ad-supported tier in U.S. in 2022. That's neat.
Only be what?
It's going to make a less expensive version that will have ads in it.
Well, isn't Disney Plus like the cheapest running service yet?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
like $8
We
or
were
something.
actually, what did we heard? I don't think there's an actual news story about it, but isn't Netflix jacking up their prices to like $20 a month?
Yeah.
Shut the.
And I'm starting to think like, yeah, I think it might be time to shut the door on Netflix. Like, I love Netflix, but I mean,
I did. I shut the door on Netflix, and ever since I shut the door, they've been knocking, saying, "Hey, take me back. For the first month, we'll make it cheaper."
Oh,
No.
thanks.
yeah,
Just
one
a month.
No.
Don't bend over backwards there, friends.
The fact of the matter is I've, nefarious means, I've been paying for Netflix to support them. Like I don't watch Netflix. I still watch Netflix though. And I paid so that they could still make great content. And last year it went from like 11 to 15, and now they're
jacking it up to 20, and it's like they canceled just about everything I like. They cancel everything like fast.
Yeah. It used to be.
Bastards aren't giving me another season of Glow.
Every time something like this happens, this meme resurfaces where it's Homer like backing into the hedge, and this one he had like all the streaming service names attached or logos attached to him, and then when he came back out of the hedge, he just had like a pirate hat on, and it said pirate ship on it, like on the shirt.
Lots of time to dust off the old pirate hat.
I mean, they pushing us into a corner here.
Yeah, like you don't have the Marvel stuff anymore, and that's fine. You can make new original content. It's just like, well, a lot of the new stuff, they're not making enough new stuff that makes me say, like Disney Plus, you've got stuff that I want to watch, and my kids use it for the movies all the time, so sure, you can stick around. Amazon, we also get the shipping, so that Amazon's sticking around. But and Netflix we're sticking with for a long time, but $20 a month, you've crossed the threshold there, folks. I just don't think that's going to work.
Well, and
Disney Plus is out here offering a cheaper version with ads, and like,
exactly. Like that's going to be my point. Like, other services are adding cheaper with ads, and Netflix has had things removed from it and then charging more.
Yeah.
That math don't track. Like, you don't have any of the MCU anymore. Like, you're not paying for that. Like, you're not making anything of the quality. Like, granted, I think, was that Ryan Reynolds movie that just came out?
Free Guy?
Yes.
Yeah, Free Guy was in Netflix. Was it?
But now it's on Disney.
Oh, I thought you meant The Adam Project.
The Adam Project, which I watched and I enjoyed the hell out of it. But that's not $20 a month. Good.
Yeah.
Sorry. Anywho.
I don't know. Was it a bunch of people were trying to convince me that I need to get YouTube Premium? No. I hate
Was it YouTube?
YouTube ads. And they ram those ads down your throat constantly. And then I was all right, how much is it? If it's like $5 a month, I would consider it for the amount of YouTube that I use for work on a daily basis, that I need to find clips for things and I have to sit through ads. I could save a decent chunk of time. Didn't have to sit through all these ads. I was like, it's $12 a month. It seems like a lot for something that used to be free.
Who the fuck are you kidding, YouTube? Although it's still, to me, not as offensive. The most offensive subscription service to me is Spotify Premium, where if you listened on Spotify free, they run ads for it, and they're like, I hate commercials. You know, if you had Spotify Premium, you wouldn't have these commercials that we're making you listen to right now. Like, fuck you guys. You're the ones making me listen to the commercials.
You dick.
Okay, for the record, as a person who still has Spotify Premium because I teach and I need to have music available in my classroom, there are still ads. Like, if you listen to podcasts on Spotify, because just in case anyone doesn't know this and you listen to our podcasts on Spotify, thank you, because that's nice. We appreciate your support, and, we post all over the place, so we're trying to get found. But anyone who doesn't know this, if you get big enough, when you're on Spotify, you're still going to have ads as part of running your podcast. So most podcasts, even if you're paying for Spotify Premium, will still have some sort of commercial, whether it's already in their recording, kind of like how we're doing commercials, only it's like big name sponsors and it's like in the entire recording of the podcast, or they will have it programmed so that you get 2 30-second ads that automatically populate during your listening, even if you're paying for Spotify Premium.
Yeah, which is butts. It's because it does specify ad-free music listening.
Right, and that's the problem, is that Spotify is trying to corner the market on being a podcast network, and so they're trying to, or I guess not network, podcast resource? I don't know what the...
Platform.
Thank you, that's the word. Like, they're really trying to become a leader among all of the options for people to listen, and in that regard, like, that should be something that's included in the cost of this service, because this is a fucking expensive service to listen to music.
$10 a month.
The fastest way to get fans is to fuck them over with commercials. Good job,
you,
Spotify.
Right? Yeah, seriously. Thank you for fucking nothing. Also, thank you for the soapbox.
You're welcome.
I'm getting off now.
All right, let's see.
phrasing.
Tor.com. Oh boy, new Quantum Leap pilot has cast Raymond Lee in lead role.
Yeah, I love
Where do I know
the
this guy
excitement.
from?
He's why do I know this guy? He was on a thing that I watched and it was good. It was the
He was on Kevin Could Fuck Himself.
Kevin Can Fuck Himself show.
Yeah.
That's right. Yep,
And he
there it
was
is.
good.
Yeah, he was good.
So I'm glad he's doing something else. And I thought some of you people cared about Quantum Leap. I don't particularly, but I thought you guys did.
I need
I
Scott
didn't
Bakula to be
get
a part
into
of it, though. Like, he needs to be the
I
other
can't
guy.
imagine he won't show up at least once.
I hope so.
I never got into Quantum Leap. Just kind of went right by me.
Same.
I'm sure it's great, and you know,
Great, it is.
It's a fun premise, so sure, let's do it. Pile that on. This isn't really news. This is just fun. CBR.com. 9 things you didn't know about the Peacemaker intro.
What are they?
Gunn's intention was to banish the skip intro button. Success.
Success? Win?
Yep.
It foreshadows the season's plot.
Okay.
Which
it's
I'm
written-
gonna say after this, I still didn't feel that I didn't. It didn't. No, it just didn't do that for me.
Yeah, I didn't follow. I'm looking at like the last shot where he's holding the little tiny dude on his shoulder, and yeah, I don't know. It's written into the script as the greatest opening credits scene of all time.
Okay. That tracks.
It was filmed in a high school auditorium. That's cool. The set design went through several changes. Okay, is that really a fun piece of trivia?
Number 4 is my favorite.
This is my favorite, yeah.
Alan Tudyk subbed in for John Cena during some rehearsals. That's fantastic.
Because his wife is the choreographer of the sequence.
So there's a photo, I've seen it. There's a photo out there somewhere of him in that position, that the John Cena, monkey arm position. It's out there somewhere.
It was filmed in the middle of the season. The title's typography font went through many revisions. Like, really, that's your number 2? Is that they changed the font? Yay. It's going to be even crazier in season 2. That's delightful.
Yeah, I think the headline here is they're going to do a new one for season 2, which is exciting.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of have to.
They
Half
have
these
to.
people are dead.
They set a precedence.
That's going to be hard to follow up. It's because that reminds me, and this is a weird parallel, but that reminds me of Still Alive at the end of Portal.
Oh God,
Like-
yes.
You just want to talk about one of those musical things that happens in a piece of entertainment medium, and you're just like, that's perfect. That is 100% perfection. How do you follow that? And then they did. They followed it up with Want You Gone, which isn't quite as good as Still Alive, but is still nothing short of an absolute goddamn masterpiece. So I'm curious if Want You Gone is like, goddamn, like, Jonathan Colton, you did it. You did it again.
Yeah.
But you'll never capture that magic in a bottle again, but you came as close as a human possibly could. So I'm curious what they're going to do for this second season of this. I'm stoked. What a fun TV thing to be looking forward to. Hollywood Reporter sends us to Pitch Perfect. Sarah Hyland, Jamila Jamil joined Peacock Comedy. This seems a little bit more Peacock than the freaking live-action Twisted Metal show. But yeah, this is neat. Adam Devine. Yeah, Adam Devine led spin-off from the movies is staging Modern Family and The Good Place reunions. Yeah, that's kind of a misleading, but
Well, it's just characters or actors or actresses from those shows. But
these actors were in things, and they're going to be in the same place. It's a reunion. Okay.
But I am interested to see this. I mean, I'm obviously a huge fan of the first movie and less so the sequels, but I'll check this show out.
Yeah, I didn't love the second one. I don't think I saw the third one.
Second
First great.
second one's trash. Third one's okay.
I'm going to completely. I'm just going to stay quiet so I don't rage. Thank you.
Why do you like them all, honey?
Yes,
Yeah, I love them
very much. I love them very much.
We are.
Second one did nothing for me. I remember watching it and was like, "This is." Yeah, I don't know, but yeah.
The only thing that this
Do you
show
think?
can do is, like ruin it, and because they took the asshole character of that movie series and apparently is now leading the show.
I will say what's disappointing is that, like, this is coming off the heels of Zoe getting canceled. Like, what is Skylar Astin doing? Give him a fucking show.
I mean, I don't want to be the person who says that, so thank you for being the person who says that, because I also agree.
Like, obviously, Anna Kendrick isn't going to come and do a Peacock show, but, like...
But why?
I don't know. Maybe she will. Didn't she do the Cinderella or something for NBC Live? I feel like Anna Kendrick will just do whatever the fuck she wants.
She just wants to do things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did she not make a show about a blow-up doll? Like,
That's true.
I mean,
she did.
Like, I'm pretty sure
she did.
she's down to clown.
But Adam Devine, I don't like that guy at all.
I know.
I like him.
All right. Well, let's move on to things we do like.
Yes.
Tor.com. Russian Dolls second season promises another existential mystery. I forgot this show was getting a second season, and I'm very interested. It turned out according to this article, the show was always meant to be 3 seasons.
I was
Which
surprised
is
by that, too.
Fascinating. Yeah. Fascinating.
We couldn't figure out when we saw the end of season 1 how they were going to do a season 2. And now
It seemed like I thought that wrapped up pretty good, but
there was a
apparently they
parade
always
and
wanted to do a
everything. It was very
trilogy,
nice.
So
Yeah.
I guess we'll see on April 20th,
yes, we will.
if we don't cancel our Netflix before that.
Oh, stop.
Well,
Stop it.
yar. I got to add this to my list of upcoming shows. This isn't on my list. Russian Doll, and that is 4/20.
I wonder if that's intentional.
I would be genuinely shocked if not. Oh, look, we have something in April now. This has been like the hole in the release schedule. Like,
Yeah, but it's April 20th, right? That's late.
yeah,
in
it's April 20th. Yeah, but Moon Knight doesn't start until the 30th, so we're going to be watching Moon Knight all.
I wonder, did we have a story stating how they were going to release it? How they were going to Netflix, or how they were going to release Moon Knight?
I mean, Disney Plus does everything week by week. They don't do full season drops.
Apparently, they did screeners, and they sent out screeners for review, and they sent out the most episodes for Moon Knight out of any show that they've ever sent out. So that to me is great, because like they want to show out what they did, but at the same
seems like they have a lot of confidence in it because they're pushing the heck out of it.
My fear is I am genuinely worried. Like, you know how I feel about spoilers. I don't want any spoilers for this show. Like, I'm actively trying to avoid it. And if they're sending out 4 episodes to, as screeners, we'll see.
Well,
That's a lot of potential spoilers.
yes, indeed you do. Well, Russian Doll is coming back. I'm in. I really liked that first season. It was weird as hell, but it was
Great
good.
show.
All right, ScreenCrush.com tells us that new Muppets Mayhem show is coming to Disney Plus.
I think,
And it's focusing on the band.
Yeah, this is a neat idea. Muppets Now didn't really stick with me, and I love me some Muppets. But I feel like I say this every time. I just don't think Disney knows what to do with them. But then that Halloween one we watched last year was pretty okay. So maybe they're starting to get a handle on this brand, and I think making a show about the Electric Mayhem band could be pretty fun. So
Yeah, I mean it has a lot of potential for music crossovers and like they have to go back to that recipe that the
Like
Muppets
more of a
did.
variety series.
Yeah, what it needs to be.
Let's see. Comicbook.com. DC Comics DMZ trailer released by HBO Max.
Oh, well, we've watched the first episode.
Yeah. I was
It
gonna
was
say.
great. You know what? I would suggest watching the show and just forget about the trailer. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's worth it.
Like I said earlier, if you missed it because I couldn't shut up and, give people time to process, the trailer didn't do much to sell the show for me, but, I gave it a chance anyway because it's our girl. So.
Well, I mean, I remember people liking this comic back when, back in the old comic book store days. So
do you know what the theory of the show is? Real quick?
I don't know anything about it.
So
Not
Manhattan
not a ding dang thing.
is a demilitarized zone because there's the United States has split into multiple countries. So Rosario Dawson plays a woman who was a medic or a doctor of some sort who was removed from Manhattan at the very beginning, and she got separated from her child, and he is theoretically still on the island of Manhattan. So she has to go back into the DMZ to find her kid. And mayhem ensues.
Neat.
But not Electric Mayhem.
No, that's a different show.
Boogie woogie.
Well, that we know of.
Maybe there could be a crossover. Who?
He could be hanging out with Dr. Teeth. Well, you never know.
That would be awesome. All right, we're getting back to a Quantum Leap. Deadline is telling us that Ernie Hudson has joined the NBC reboot. Sweet.
Does it say what he's playing?
I would think he's going to be the,
The Sam? Sam?
Yeah.
No? Wait, Sam was his name.
Hudson portrays Herbert Magic Williams, a Vietnam vet and the head of the time travel project at Quantum Leap.
Okay.
Using a bit of politicking and his military know-how to keep the Pentagon at bay, Magic buys the team some time to rescue Ben, but expects answers once he's back.
Mm-hmm.
Neat.
I remember the computer being Ziggy. I can't remember the guy's name who was using Ziggy.
Well, while you contemplate that, I'm going to talk about the fact that Variety.com tells us that Never Have I Ever renewed for a fourth and final season at Netflix.
Yay. Yay for more of the show. Boo for Netflix canceling shit. Boo for all the ads that are covering up the story so I can't actually look at it. It's a high school show, and those shouldn't last more than 4 seasons. So This is right.
Yeah, that's cool.
I've never seen it, so I have never
Have you ever seen that show?
Nope.
Yeah, me neither, but you said it was a high school show. I'm like, all right, then 4 seasons. Cool. Yeah, do it. That's exactly right. I like it when shows end. Makes me happy. All right, here we go.
Wow.
This has been circling around a lot. I was just listening to something from Nerdist on this just before we started recording. Daredevil Season 4, rumored to start filming later this year. Screen Rant is where this specific headline is coming from. There seems to be something cooking with Daredevil. Disney knows that they've got a hit on their hands, that people will watch some Daredevil. Mm-hmm. The question is, what exactly is it going to be? I mean, obviously, we could all be wrong, and there could not really be a Daredevil in the works, but there was some sort of, big listing of, here's a bunch of stuff that's in production, and Daredevil was listed on that. So, obviously, the big rumor right now is, someone says Daredevil is happening? Well, I guess Daredevil's happening. But is it going to be a reboot? Are they going to pick up where the old series left off? Is it going to be... Because, the way they're doing multiverse stuff right now, anything could really happen, but I don't know.
According to this, the source, or part of the source of the rumor, is that Disney opened a new production LLC called Blind Faith Productions. Which is, It's not fucking Matt Murdock. What the fuck is it?
Yeah.
I don't get it. Sorry, I'm just kidding.
So here's what I'm hoping they do Marvel Knights.
Yeah, it seems to be kicking in that direction.
Moon Knight, Daredevil, Punisher. Like, just do it. It's the dark side
Do
of
the things.
the
I
dark
would like
side of
very
Disney.
much for them to continue these stories. Like, Daredevil was the one that got theoretically wrapped up the best, but even still, like, I would really like to see these wrap up in some way that
That
just kind of
Shadowland.
finalizes where they fit, and whatnot.
Yes. There's so many good comic book runs that can just be taken now that Disney has all of it. Just make them happen.
Those bastards made me care enough about that Iron Fist show to want another season. And I will never forgive them for making me care and then canceling it.
Dummy.
How dare you make that show good and then not
Still
make
don't
all of
believe
it?
you.
How
That's not
dare
true.
you?
It's not that we don't believe. It's just that I don't care enough to try. I don't. I don't, and I won't. Can't make
You know what?
me.
Here's what you do. Here's what I'm going to say to do instead. Just watch the last episode. That's all you need to do. Just watch the last episode and see how they end that shit. And tell me you wouldn't watch more of that.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Well, that'll be our homework for next
Challenge
week.
accepted.
Yeah.
Those bastards. Anyways, Nerdist.com. The Boys Season 3 teaser comes with glowing eyes and so much blood.
Thank you.
Who wants to... Go ahead. The three of you Supernatural fans, dive in. Have some fun.
I mean, I'll be in my bunk.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
just made a whole lot of yep.
I mean, you could kind of like the shots that you can see of Jensen. Like mostly, it's like him in shadow, but all like scraggly and scruffy, like he looked during the pandemic and his quarantine right before shooting this. And then, pleasantly, at least for me, he's all cleaned up when he gets to be in his superhero outfit.
Billy Butcher's getting superpowers.
Apparently.
Yeah. Wait, was there... that's the question I had, though. Was there anything in the last season that implied that was going to happen?
No, I don't think so. But I
Okay.
do feel like I remember someone telling me that is a thing that happens in the comics.
Okay.
I mean, all he has to do is take the drug.
Yeah.
At one point in time, he was using a baby as a laser gun, wasn't he? Like that was the laser eyes.
I
remember
I remember that.
So, yeah.
Speaking of things that happen in the comics that are apparently not happening in the show, there's a pretty disturbing thing that happens with Homelander and Soldier Boy that isn't going to happen in the show.
Wait.
So
Why? Wait. Do I want to know? I probably don't want to know. I do
I
want to
don't
point
really
out
want
that...
to speak on it because I'm not a expert on the comics. I just read an article, but
That's fine. I just wanted to mention that it seemed like there are more dance numbers or musical numbers in this season, including... You saw the part where Jensen had a microphone, right?
I did.
Okay. I just want to point
Not
that out.
upset about it.
For anyone who doesn't know, he does have a lovely singing voice.
Oh yeah.
He is
Yeah.
it's his own band, in fact.
Yes. So,
Well, let's see. We got a couple of deaths to report on here. We've got Emilio Delgado from Sesame Street.
sorry, going from glowing
Sorry
eyes
to
and
yank
blood.
you out of your Jensen ankles, whatever his name is.
You can Jensen my ackles.
Heyo. I'm right here. I can hear you.
Sorry.
We lost Emilio Delgado, Sesame Street's beloved Luis Rodriguez, dead at 81, and William Hurt died at 71.
That's
Boo.
Yeah.
too much.
Two giant bummers
Yeah,
for entirely different reasons.
yeah. I didn't. I know I knew William Hurt from other things besides Marvel, but it's like, yeah, he was Ross.
Yeah, he was. For this generation, he was Ross.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a bummer. Let's flip things around to film.com. The Umbrella Academy season 3 teaser. The Sparrows are coming.
Yeah.
I'm gonna want to watch some sort of major recap on the first couple of seasons of
I'm
Umbrella
okay
Academy.
if you just want to rewatch the first couple of seasons.
Hey, if we've got that kind of time, I
It
wouldn't
doesn't
mind
come out
rewatching
till your
them.
birthday.
Yeah, it comes out on my birthday, June 22nd. So
That is a gift.
hooray! More Umbrella Academy. Love that show.
Yeah, the teaser doesn't really show too much, but I don't care. I'm just so excited. I love this show so much. And the wait between season 1 and season 2 was so long that I'm like so grateful that this one has not been as long.
Mm-hmm.
But I know you guys probably want to get to the next trailer because it's like way more of a big deal.
I mean, I don't know if it's way more of a big deal. The Umbrella Academy is freaking awesome. But
Yeah,
this
I was
is,
gonna say I would not. I don't want
I
to
don't want to
discount.
minimize that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's.
That's some top tier TV right there. That is awesome stuff. I will gladly watch that again if we in fact have time to do that. This next one though is also really interesting. The trailer for Miss Marvel came out.
Ooh, I forgot we had a conversation about this in this chat.
We did indeed. This is super interesting. I've been very curious what this show is going to look like. Because I am not a fan of stretchy characters in live action. Looks great in comics, totally works in comics and in animation. But man, when you make stretchy people in live action, it always looks goofy. I've never seen it not. And somebody told me to look at a character in Doom Patrol. So I watched a video of that character in Doom Patrol, and like when her face is melting, all right, I guess it's kind of face melty, but then she stretched her arm to hold somebody against a wall. I was like, nope, looks goofy as shit.
I will say
her
they're incorporating, like you had said in Discord, like her powers look interesting. They incorporated some of the stretchiness because they did the thing where like she like punched. I'm playing it again. It looks like she punched somebody.
They
against
made
a
her
wall
Green
or something.
Lantern.
But it's similar to that. But what I'm most curious about is, did they make it so her power is based on a bracelet?
Yes.
Yes.
From what we could see in the trailer, yes. And that was my point, is that from what we're seeing in the trailer, her powers are from an external source. And my understanding of her as a character, they are her. Like her powers come from inside. And it's something that she's had to deal with. Now she's putting on a bracelet and it, like when I say like it's Green Lantern-esque powers, like Green Lantern thought of something and it showed up, usually a giant gun or a fist or something like that. And that's what they have been showing. It's just purple and sparkly, not green. I understand your worry about the stretchiness aspect of it, that yes, at times it does look really weird, but the fact of the matter is this character that they're showing on screen is not Ms. Marvel. It's a different character.
I'm not sure I'm willing to go that far quite yet, because we don't know what exactly that bracelet does. We don't know exactly what that bracelet is. Is that bracelet handling some sort of power within her that the bracelet allows her to control? Mm-hmm. It's definitely tying her powers a little bit more into Captain Marvel because they look more cosmic. Mm-hmm. They do seem to kind of serve a similar purpose to the stretchy powers, but again, I understand why they want to avoid Terrigen mists and all that stuff. I get why they want to separate themselves from Inhumans. They burn that bridge. they burned that bridge hard. Mm-hmm. Between the worst seasons of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and a really shitty TV show. Like, they burned that bridge bad. So I am very glad that what they've done with this character is to make her powers more visually appealing. But until we actually see the implementation of it in the show, it's difficult to tell what exactly they're doing with it. All we're seeing is her personality being something that is seems to be in line with her comic book adaptation,
yes,
which is a very important part of it. Same with her family and all that stuff. Like, her personality seems to be spot on. If they can still take the essence of what her powers are and how she reacts to having powers and all that, the responsibility of having the powers, if they can connect that, then we're good. Because, like, then it doesn't really matter what specifically the powers are. Like, if she can create a giant hand or just make her hand big, goopy, and giant, well, at the end of the day, what difference does that really make if the essence of the storytelling is still there? And nothing that the MCU has done so far has made me think that what they're going to do with this character is going to be such a huge betrayal of what made the character what they are, that it's going to turn out to be ultimately terrible. So
one situation or one conversation that I had seen online, talking about this, and superheroes, the super part of that character being presented differently. Does that make it a different character? So, like, it would be theoretically doing a Superman show where they get Clark Kent 100% right, but they don't make Superman Superman. Is that the same character? Is that okay? Like that, and that's the conversation. Like, that's really iffy to do with the comic book culture that exists. I understand and I agree that Kamala seems to be done correctly. Like, they look like they're doing a really good job with that, and I'm okay. Like, that looks great. I just, when I like, be brave and try to do Stretchy, try to stick to the character to see what it is, or see if you can do it differently, or see if you can do it better. Don't reinvent this wheel, kind of thing.
How do you know that they didn't?
I mean, everything that they've shown in the trailer.
They didn't? No, how do you know that they didn't try and then say, this doesn't work, we have to do something else?
Okay, I don't know that. Well, actually, I don't know that because they didn't show it to me. And in essence, like, they're showing me something that... It's entirely
possible that when they started developing this show, they were like, all right, how do we do this? And then they couldn't come up with a way to do it. And instead of following through with something that didn't work, that didn't translate from the page to the screen, they came up with a different direction. I mean, look at Thor. Movie Thor, pretty different from comic book Thor. Still Thor, but it's movie Thor. It is this interpretation of the character. The MCU has not been 100% comic accurate in a lot of ways since day one. Tony Stark wasn't raging alcoholic in the movies, but they took the essence of what that was and folded it into this medium of storytelling.
Correct. But Iron Man still had his Iron Man suit. Thor still had Mjolnir and came from...
So you're saying it's okay for their core personality to not be the same, but their power set has to, for the character to be relevant?
I'm not saying... I mean, I don't understand...
Which version of Thor are you talking about? Because, like, the Donald Blake Thor? Like, he was a dude that picked up Thor's hammer and got the power of Thor?
So
that's not how it went in the movies.
Well, before the movie came out, that stopped. Like, this is going down a comic book.
What difference does that make? It's still so you're saying that comic Thor wasn't actually Thor? Like, when they reinvented Thor in the comics, that's fine, but if they reinvent Thor for the movies, that's not.
But they didn't reinvent Thor. Thor was the son of Odin, Lord of Thunder, wielded a hammer. That's what he did in all of the movies.
Uh-huh. And in the original comic book interpretation, it was a dude named Donald Blake who picked up a hammer and got the power of Thor.
Okay.
That's not the same thing. That's not the dude who grew up in Asgard. That's a different guy.
Okay. But when we're talking about Thor, this is going too far. Because it's already fucking 10 after 11.
I'm just saying, I understand what you're saying. I'm saying I don't understand that your point that they changed her powers. We don't know exactly the length of what the power, how their powers are connected. But the fact that she isn't Stretchy doesn't change what her character is.
Okay,
that's the part that I'm disagreeing with. Is until we see the show and they say, like, okay, it's just something that she can take on and off, and she chooses to have powers. Like, until we see exactly how that works, there's no reason to assume that they're going to intrinsically change something about this character.
But okay, so what I'm saying is I'm not assuming. They showed me something that shows me that they're not doing that. Okay? I'm still going to watch it. I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt.
They showed her putting a bracelet on. You don't know what that means.
They showed her cosmically getting her costume on. They showed her cosmically using powers that were not her body. Like, they showed that stuff.
But
yeah, they've showed her... They showed her with a somewhat different power set that effectively does the same thing. She's doing what the stretchy body does, except instead of it being stretchy body, it's some sort of cosmic thing that's doing it.
Okay. You and I have a difference of opinion on this. It is fine. I think if you didn't have such a disdain for stretchy body in live action, this would be a different conversation. I don't have a stretchy body problem. I didn't mind.
I don't have a stretchy body problem.
I didn't mind him sticking hands underneath doorways to wiggle the lock when a door was closed. Like, that doesn't bother me. I just like seeing the character from the comic, especially when it comes to power sets. Like, the Moon Knight that I'm being shown is not the comic book Moon Knight visually. I'm okay with that. The character is still the same. The power set is still the same. He's still wearing white. Maybe it's slightly different. That's fine.
What if the power set ends up being? You know what? I'm not gonna dive into this.
Yeah, Angie,
everything that I've been shown so far.
Get out of the way.
Everything that I've been shown so far is leading me down the path that they're trying to stay comic accurate. That's what I'm being shown.
Okay.
That's not the case for this, and it's just a different way to go. That's fine.
We shall wait and we shall see.
Yes, we shall wait and we shall see. Because, as we also know, if there's something that Marvel's good at, it's being extraordinarily misleading with their trailers.
That's also true.
Deceitful motherfuckers.
How very dare you.
It's not actually a Ms. Marvel show that's coming out. It's a completely different character.
I personally think that this is a smart direction to go.
I like the stylization of if they stick the show, like the way the I don't know, the comic booky look of the word bubbles and all of that stuff that they were doing in this trailer. Like, I'm down with that. That looks great. It's a big difference than everything else we've seen from the Marvel television universe. And that looks great. I think they're nailing her Kamala character. I think they're doing it. I'm just worried on the other side. That's it.
I understand being worried on the other side. What I took issue with is saying that's not Miss Marvel, because we don't know. And I think that they've earned enough goodwill as far as the translations of these things to say that they're going to attempt to get the essence of this character correct. And if they get the core of the character correct, both the superhero and the secret identity, then that's what's truly important, whether or not she closes a door by shooting a hand across the room or by stretching her arm across the room. And I think that the MCU has kind of earned, us to trust them on that they're going to do what works best for this particular thing that they're going to do, to try to tie it into the other characters and into the way the universe works, and to make things make sense from a story perspective, and to stay the fuck away from Terrigen Mist.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, Tor.com. The time traveler's wife would very much like to yank your heartstrings.
I had no idea they were doing this. Who the fuck was in charge of telling me and screwed up?
I was confused too, because this is already a movie. So, like,
yes,
I don't know.
but now this is a series.
Yeah,
And it's got Rose Leslie, which is awesome. And it's got Stephen Moffat, which, I mean, if Moffat is going to Moffat all over something, it's got to have time travel.
I forgot about that phrase.
So I am excited, and this is coming in May. So put this on the list, please. Actually, you don't have to put it
Do
on
you
the
actually
list.
have a physical list? Because I heard Kris
stop.
stop and write. Do you guys literally have a list?
I do. I have a. I have a list.
We don't remember things.
Oh no,
Yeah,
we
I
would
have
be
a
much
list
better
of-
off with a list. We just randomly fall on things. Oh, look, that came out, and we have no way to prepare.
It's true.
Yeah, currently I am, like, for this year, I am tracking games and TV shows that I am paying attention to and what their release dates are and have them on, like, a checklist.
Gotcha.
And I can tell you that I have a list in my head, but it's a terrible way of keeping a list because I know there are 3 shows that are dropping between, like, 2 days ago and the end of this month that I am myself personally excited about, and I can't remember what the other 2 are. One's Call the Midwife, and I know that one's because it's already out, but I don't know what the other 2 are, and fuck. Bridgerton is one of them. And I don't know what the other one is. Oh well.
Fuck.
It'll come.
Looking pretty solid all the way through June. So, oh right, I got to write down the June 22nd Umbrella Academy.
Yeah, you do.
DNY 622. There we go. So, boy, June's rough. Crikey.
What do you mean rough?
We got
How dare they release this
Boys
much
on
good
the
TV?
3rd, Miss Marvel on the 8th, and then Umbrella Academy on the 22nd.
Sounds like a good fucking time to me.
That's a beefy month.
Boys is weekly. Disney
Miss
did.
Marvel's going to be weekly too, I'm sure.
They probably did the first couple of episode dump like they did that before. You get like the first 2, and then they
I think
week it
Hawkeye
out.
had 2 or something. Yeah, that's probably how that's going to rock. And like before that, we're waiting on Moon Knight is the 30th. Then I got Russian Doll on 420. I'm interested in this new Star Trek show, Strange New Worlds, on May 5th. May 25th is Obi-Wan. May 27th is Stranger Things. Boys is June 3rd. Miss Marvel's June 8th. Umbrella Academy June 22nd. And then the next thing after that I have is Lord of the Rings on September 2nd. But
you should write that on like one of the Google document things, because I think I'm interested in all of those shows that you mentioned except for the Star Trek one.
And then, like, we don't have dates for stuff that's theoretically this year. Andor, House of the Dragon, maybe Dragon Prince, Secret Invasion, She-Hulk, and I put Star Trek Discovery on there as just, like, something that I'd like to maybe watch someday, but probably
I
never
would
will.
really just like to watch the Stacey Abrams episode. Do you know about this?
No.
Okay, so do you know who Stacey Abrams is?
Top of my head, I'm going to go with no.
She's a politician in Georgia.
Oh, right, the one who's president of Earth.
Right, yes. She's also a huge Star Trek fan, so Star Trek people wrote her into that episode. And fucking Ted Cruz had a shit fit about it on Twitter, and I love it.
Yeah, anything that pisses off Ted Cruz is good by me. I would really like to get that guy on a catapult and launch him into the sun, but
Sorry.
the
The science behind that catapult is not there yet. It doesn't reach the sun, but we're painstakingly working on it.
I really
I'm willing to
that
try
feeling.
with Ted Cruz as many times as it takes.
The problem is you got to go
Freaking
get
watch
him every
the show
time you
with the
miss the
catapult.
sun.
That, you know what? Fuck is it cake? I want a new Netflix reality show. Will this launch Ted Cruz into the sun? And I just want different catapults plopping Ted Cruz against his will onto the catapult and launching him and see where he lands.
There's lots of
And then,
flailing involved.
Lots of
Please and
flailing.
thank you.
No mattresses. Then like the following hospitalizations, and we get to see how
I mean, it's a
how he's
waste.
doing.
It's a waste of mattresses. You don't know where he's going to fall to. So just
Yeah,
But,
the
I mean-
idea is the sun. So.
yeah.
He's not going to need a mattress there.
No, exactly. And, like the dude from a Rocky movie I've never seen said, if he dies, he dies.
Quoted a Rocky
People.com
movie that
announces
you've
that
never seen.
Maury is ending after 31 years on TV.
didn't
Will
know
air
he was
original
still
episodes
on.
through
I
September.
didn't know he was still alive.
Oh, I knew he was alive.
I don't know.
I didn't know he was still. I didn't know Is it the Maury? Is it the Maury Povich show still?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maury
No,
began
I
in
think it's just Maury.
1991 as The Maury Povich Show before its title was shortened in 1998 to just Maury. The series deals with an array of hot-button topics and social issues centered on Povich's guests as well as the in-studio audience. I have not seen a daytime TV talk show in so very long, but man, I remember staying home sick from school and watching like
The Maury show.
The Maury Show and Ricky Lake and of course
Jerry
The Price is
Springer.
Right. But Jerry Springer, yeah. Good times.
Classic
Yeah,
classic
so-
television.
I think it's safe to say our children will not understand references to Maury Povich, and that is perfectly fine with
That's
me.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm good
That's
with
all
that. And then we've got
Wildly.
a duo of stories here. Metro.co.uk reports that Hugh Grant is in talks to be the new Doctor Who in Marvel-style makeover, which then was rebuked by EW.com. Hugh Grant has no idea what Doctor Who.
EW.com
Dr. Hugh.
reports Hugh Grant said, "What?
Jesus Christ. You know how fast that would happen, too, right, Dr. Hugh?
Yeah.
Ugh.
I got no problem with Hugh Grant, but nah.
No thanks.
Nah.
Stop trying to fix Doctor Who. Let Doctor Who be Doctor Who. God damn it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I feel like
Karen.
this was like someone at a website. It's like they were making a bet with each other. Like, hey, who can we pick to possibly get people to believe it's going to be the next Doctor? And
Well,
that's how this came about.
the speculation
stupid are
is
people?
high right now because nobody knows, and we're going to be between doctors here soon. And I will, always in this period of time, hop up on my soapbox and say Richard Ayoade. But the original rumor came from the Daily Mirror, which we don't live in England, so maybe people don't know this, is basically a tabloid. And I don't know why anyone pays any attention to it. But occasionally they publish something that is about something people care about, and then everybody goes, oh my God, could this possibly be true? No, it can't be true. It's the fucking Mirror. So, yeah.
I remember the last time before Jodie Whittaker, it was was the front runner was Rupert Grint for a while.
I think so, yeah.
That panned out.
Well, there's always possibilities.
How long? I'm looking at an article. I don't even know where it's space.com. I'm kind of curious as to how long ago. It says that this was posted about 11 hours ago. And it's a list of who should be the next Doctor. And there's, hold on, scroll. 7 listing. And one of them is the actor who has passed that played Black Panther. So
Chadwick Boseman?
Yeah.
Why would you put Chadwick Boseman on your list, guys?
You can't. Can't.
He's
I don't
dead.
think he's available.
I'm very confused by that choice.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna.
I mean, he's
close that.
great.
Yeah. No. I mean, if anyone could pull it off, it could be him.
Sure, let me go
But
get my resurrection spells.
That's not. Space.com.
I mean, I
just
wish we
lost,
could have him back.
lost all credibility right there. Oh, is that it? We're done. It's time
Yeah,
for
we
bed.
did it.
Done did it.
I
Did the dang thing.
I'm tired. My eyes are gonna fall out of my head.
Yeah, that's 2 nights in a row of podcasting. This is fun. I love doing this shit, but boy, I don't love doing it in the morning.
That's what she said.
Yes.
Hey.
Boom.
Love it.
Well, we did it. We made it, and that is our show. This week's episode is not filmed before a live studio audience, but it is fueled by feedback from listeners like you. Well, I don't know. My dog is a live studio audience. She's
a
real
sleep
lively right
studio
now, too.
audience.
She's
Our audience, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, we have an official Geekade Discord where there's an entire This Week's Episode channel dedicated to all things TV talk. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram through the official Geekade channels or the more specific webcast accounts. And of course, the 4 of us can be found in various ways. I'm available on Twitter at Geekade Kris, that's Geekade Kris, and you can read my work at StoneAgeGamer.com and in the pages of Nintendo Force magazine. Karen, where can people find you?
You can find me at STM Stitches on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Etsy.
Angie, where can people find you?
check out. I'm gonna plug something new. Check out talesofcapefear.com.
Really, honey? I have nothing, and you took that from me.
Okay, wait. Let's go back in time. I'm going to plug something personal that I don't usually plug. Check out my website. It's angelafernot.com. Definitely has nothing to do with pirates.
And Evan, where can people find you?
Angela and I have been working on a thing. Please head over to talesofcapefear.com to see what that's all about.
Oh, I'm so glad you mentioned that.
I know. I thought about it.
I hope
all
it's
day.
about marshmallows.
It is.
Yay. Pirate
it.
marshmallows. There needs to be more pirate marshmallows in the world. Anyway, if you need to know more about the shows we discussed tonight or what we'll be watching in the future, have a look at our show notes. If you have any other questions at all, we can always be reached at mail@geekade.com. Just include the words "this week's episode" in the subject line so we know who you're trying to reach. This show is available anywhere fine podcasts are sold, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, probably loaded with commercials, Stitcher, YouTube, and more. And wherever you decide to listen, please like, comment, subscribe, share, leave reviews, because any and all feedback is welcome and appreciated. Again, as always, keep your eyes on geekade.com for more fresh, original content. Evan.
Nope. You.
Yeah. No, you. You're going to tell the people what my homework was for
It
Star Trek
is
Lower Decks.
Star Trek Lower Decks Season 1, Episode 1.
I just wanted to say your name. I like
Oh,
it.
appreciate that.
Say my name.
Girls, you're both pretty.
You're damn right we are.
Yeah, we are.
All right, you guys ready for this?
I don't know. Oh, shit. Okay. All right, Karen, you go first this time.
It's happening.
Let's do
All
this.
right. That's it, everybody. I'm Chris.
I'm Evan.
Karen. You said me go first. God damn it.
I really could not resist that. I apologize. Chris, take it one more time. I'm sorry.
No, I refuse to participate.
I'm Dan Ryan. Good night.
And this concludes our broadcast day.